Hello, people. It's been about 10 days since I did a live show. So, if you guys can hear me okay, please let me know. You just never know. I'm in northern Texas, and we're going to have some bad snowstorms tonight, cold front coming in. Uh, Last year, when it happened, we lost electricity for a few days. The minute that we popped open now, we have 70 in the house already. So, that's a good sign. So, tonight, I got quite a few people coming in. I'm going to say express. I'm not going to use that whole word, but thank you. I appreciate it. We have some interesting guests tonight. Listen, I'm not coming in here to bash nobody tonight. People are going to come here and say what they want to say, and they're going to be honest. My show tonight is to moderate the show, and that's pretty much what I'm going to do. And we're entering a new year. This has been a very rough year. We've had some really horrible things said about people. Everybody's under attack now. It's at the point of being ridiculous. So as we enter into the new year, we have to decide: do we want our shows to be products, or do we want them to be just shows where we attack everybody every day? And listen, I'm just as guilty as the next guy. I'm not trying to say I'm not as guilty. But this isn't going to work, people. You got people out there like OZ Shorts and stuff like that. Jeff Nadeau, they don't go around running around saying stuff about people all the time. They defend themselves, but this is what's happening now. And it's been getting so bad. Every day it's like, and there's certain people here that are picking someone new every day to attack. I mean, what is it? You don't get along with nobody at all? And the people on here is my way of showing, look, I get along with people. I may have issues with a few people, but it's a few people. So I'm going to bring up a couple people first, and we'll take it from there. And I'm glad I'm glad these two guys showed up because I wasn't sure whether they would ever show up. So first, let's say hi to Jeff. Jeff,
Hey,
how you doing?
How are you? Nice to
I
see you,
appreciate
man.
it. I never thought I'd see you back here.
Yeah, Lee, you and I have had our differences, but I'm glad we could break bread for the end of the year. And listen, I've had a great 2021. I hope all of you did as well, and I hope you have a great 2022. So nice to be here. I wanted to tell you, you did a good show the other day on DiBernardo. He was a real vile person, but
Yes, he was.
did a nice show. Good show.
Yes. Okay. And now the next person that's here is Joe.
Hey,
Joe, how you doing?
good. How are you?
I'm really glad you showed up.
Yeah, miscommunication on the emails back and forth and whatnot.
Just so people know, Gunner's going to be coming on tonight, but he's in the woods right now killing a deer. So he will be coming on. The show is probably going to go like 2 hours tonight, and we're going to, we're going to have people popping in. What I try to do, guys, is stretch it out all over the place. Do you know whether Vinny's coming tonight?
Vinny is staying off right now because his doctors gave him like the stress is getting to him or something. So he really can't, you know what I mean? I advised him just lay low. He told, on his show, he said, look, I need a few days off. I'll see you next year. And so I think it's better that he stays off.
Let's all say a prayer for Vinny. Vinny's a good man. And sometimes he gets caught up. I get a little frustrated with him sometimes because I feel like Vinny's not sticking up for himself enough. But you know what? That's just who Vinny is. And, I had my show. I spoke on you, Joe, and I spoke on Vinny. And
I heard
don't know if you've seen it. And I was glad to see you standing up because the reality is this, guys. If someone's talking a lot of crap about you, they're talking crap about you. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, how many passes can someone be given? What do you think about that, Joe?
Well, here's the problem I have with that. Okay, so for example, if I'm beefing with Jeff, I could send him a message and say, F you. Then he could say it back to me, and we could go back and forth 300 times, right? But then normally what happens after that, we say, all right, no more talking. I'll see you when I see you. I don't want to get it to that see you when I see you point. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to back up a little bit from the beef, and Vinny is not 100%. And I really don't want to, when I get my own show, obviously I'll do things the way that I want to do it. But if I'm on Vinny's show, I got to worry about, him and his family or whatever. He's not feeling well. Sometimes I don't know if it's the best thing to jump into these beefs head first or pull back a little. So I'm just kind of finding my way around on YouTube. So, but I love to battle. That we all know that,
Right.
So
and Jeff, and I'm going to talk to Jeff. Jeff, you've been involved in this because you've been hit, and then it's been apologies and hit again. So, and listen, I'm as guilty, Jeff. You and I went on at it quite a bit. It's not going to be that way no more, Jeff. And I just like to know, Jeff, just so people know, Jeff picked up the phone and called me, and he was really decent about it. I kind of made a crack about him in the boxing match, but the reality is, how many of us would have the balls to go in front of a group of people and fight in a ring? No, it takes balls to do that. But anyway, Jeff, what would you like to say on this?
Well, Lee, the good thing is most of you went and bought it, and I made a lot of money off it, so it worked.
Where's my cut?
Well, you're getting it.
I'm your new trainer and your new manager. So.
Well, you actually had to get it before the end of the year. It doesn't look like you're going to get here in time. Sorry.
One other thing, Lee. Tom's going to be coming on shortly. He wanted me to let you know that. Sorry about that.
Tom, you better get on here before Gunner does.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? Funny you said that, Lee, Gunner, because I sent them a message, and because I didn't know him really, and he sent me a message back, and it was kind of like basically like F these guys with this shit, just focus on you and doing your thing, and you'll be cool. So I get advice sometimes from people that I would least expect it, but a lot of times, they know what they're talking about, basically. He's been doing this for a while, like you and Jeff, but so that's
Jeff,
it.
Okay, Jeff, you want to?
Yeah, so as far as who I'm cool and who I'm not cool with, listen, I am at the point where I think I'm kind of on decent terms with everybody on here. I'm not on here to start with rats. I'm not on here to start with other people. If you go on my channel, I talk about the mafia. I've always done that. But as you said, if someone says something really out of line to me, I'm going to respond. But I think that's what people want me to do. I'm going to just sit here and do what I do. You were nice enough to ask me to come on. You were doing an end of the year show. I'm an adult. So are these two here, everybody watching. I'm not a kid, I don't need to fight with people on the internet, because ultimately, Lee, I told you this the other day, none of this shit really matters, to be honest. I really couldn't care less. So I come on here, I try to be cool with people, and we're not going to always agree on everything, but all in all, we can come together, at the end of the year or something and do something. So, and look, I'll be really quite frank with you. I've been on Chris's show as well recently. If he's upset about me coming on here, well, he's just gonna have to, get past that. He doesn't pay my bills. He doesn't, do anything for me. As I said, though, I'm cool with going on his stuff as well, but I'm not going to pick and choose who I'm cool with,
And chatting with Stax, this is very important. If Stax can come on here and say this, and with those the battles that Stax have, and the reason I've never really been too angry at Stax is because I put the fight video up on him and did some stuff to him. So what did Stax do? He came back at me. I don't blame him for that. So we're entering a new year here. Stax, just like you said, it's squashed. Be friends. I see you work hard on your show. You're on a couple times a day. You go out looking for interviews. So nobody can't say that you're not out there working hard to build your show.
Yep.
And if you want to come on here, you're more than welcome. I'll drop you the link.
One thing I want to add is like this beef that's going on, right? I'm beefing with people I never met a day in my life. You know what I mean? So it's like with me and you, Lee, you know, it's like, all right, so we had words. I apologize. You apologize. Now maybe we could move forward with a relationship and let's see where that goes. But I'm not going to be mad at you because you did a video on a friend of my friends. You know what I mean? It's just because none of us would talk then. We'd just be doing our own shows, you know? So I'm looking at it like I'm trying to be cool with you guys and learn as much as I can. I'm not coming in here thinking I have the fucking recipe for success. You know, I'm just trying to fit in with you guys and see if I could build some relationships, and hopefully we're moving towards that. I know Jeff is, I talked to Jeff on the phone. We're cool, you know what I mean? We'll probably go out sometime, but not looking for any beefs right now.
Well, I got another person here, guys. Let's say to Ali, how you doing?
Oh,
up,
there
buddy?
he is. Happy New Year.
What's going on?
How's things up in Canada today?
Hold on. Can you guys see me?
Yes, we can.
Unfortunately,
Okay,
yes.
Joe, how are you, buddy?
Good. How are you?
How's things up in
Dude,
Canada?
how are you, bud?
I'm doing well. If I could just say one thing.
Yes.
I don't know this guy. I know he's come in my chats. He seems like an all right guy. I will say this, and I've been on the internet a long time. I always make that clear. I will admit, if this individual sent money to somebody and he sent it, I think that's something he has to deal with himself. I don't know the whole story, so I'm not going to comment on it too much. I do think it's wild that if somebody sent me money, they'd ask me for it back, no matter what happened. When you send somebody money, that's up to you. That's your business. Now, again, I have no ill will towards this guy. I don't know him. I just want to make that clear. If you sent me money, that's my money. You sent it. You know what I'm saying?
But if it's one thing is, I could vouch for Ali. He's a good guy. You know what I mean? He really is.
He is. He's been in my
but
chat.
It's,
He's a good guy.
It's different when, you give someone money under false pretenses. That's a whole different story. You know what I mean? I understand what you're saying. You don't give and take back. But if someone robs you, you know what I mean? Or I'm not saying Chris did that, but if you feel like someone robbed you, you're going to want your fucking money back. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you.
This is why for me, I don't really do the super chat thing. I'm not on here to really make money from people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really do it, so I don't.
Well, Jeff, that's because you got a ton of money.
Well,
yeah,
I didn't say it. I was just kidding.
Yeah, you just made $1 million off the boxing match.
Yes,
Jeff.
that's true.
and we know where you live, so be careful.
You made more money than Logan Paul. He says he still hasn't gotten paid.
That's true. Good point.
So go figure that one out. So Ali,
Yeah.
how's everything going with you?
Good, buddy. Good. Sorry, the volume is low. I don't hear you. Guys. It's not loud at all.
That's that Canadian internet.
Well, maybe.
You know,
It says you're back. It says you're backstage. You're only the host can see you.
We
could all
right?
see you,
We
unfortunately.
all see you. Everybody sees you.
Oh, okay. Shit.
Just so you know. So Ali, so what do you have to say about stuff?
See, someone made a comment, do I have receipts? No, you missing. I didn't say that. I didn't say one guy was wrong or the other guy. I said if someone thinks that they got robbed, they're going to want their fucking money back. Now, I'm not the one that's going to say it was done or it wasn't done. I don't know the particulars of the situation, but I know I could vouch for Ali as a good person. So that's what I meant. I don't know what the fuck happened. I mean, it's something that I really wasn't paying attention to. Were you paying attention to it, Jeff? I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of it.
Yeah, I caught up to it a little bit. I mean, again, I'm not gonna say that I'm a legend on the story or anything. That's just from what I heard. Again, he seems like a nice guy. Do I think that somebody made profiles? I don't know. I can't make that comment. But if he's not asking for the money back, well, he shouldn't. And
it's funny. Josie's having trouble with her internet tonight. Ali's having trouble with the internet tonight. I don't know what and let's see, let's say hi to Sean. Sean, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm working. The dishwasher, he canceled. He got sick, so I'm working all night. We've been busy all day, so give it up to the working man.
Always. Hey, do you know Jeff Nadeau and do you know Joe of the Headless Horseman?
How are you,
I could
Sean?
hardly hear you. You're cutting in and out.
What's up with the internet
He looks
today?
like he's in the wilderness, though. I don't
Yeah.
know about the fucking.
He's in the mountains of California.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, way up there, you know.
Oh man, lucky you.
I can hear now.
Can you hear me, Sean? Can you hear me? Sean, can you hear me?
Still can't hear you. Yeah, I can hear you now, Lee.
Okay, I was going to say, what part of the mountains are you in California again?
I'm in Idlewild, California, in Riverside County.
Okay, and you're up there in the mountains, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And have you met Jeff Nadeau and Joe before? Have you watched them?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well,
you're missing great things. Let me tell you.
You got a delayed reaction. The internet is really letting people down today.
Someone's playing around.
Josie tried to jump in and can't get in, and so we'll see what.
They need to reset their router or some shit.
So, guys, what's your plans for this year coming up? Jeff, what's your plans for this year coming up?
Well, look, Lee, the goal is just continue. We'll let him see if he can speak. I don't know if his connection's working or not.
Can you hear us, Sean?
I can't hear you guys.
Okay, Sean, I'm going to take you out because then you can come back in. Because
all right, Happy New Year, Lee.
You take care. Thank you for coming.
All right.
Well, you know something, guys. You can hear me, okay, right?
Yeah, I can hear everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really weird. I mean, Ali's having trouble with his internet. He's having trouble with his internet.
It's funny, Lee. I think because they're both not at their home internet connection. They're just trying to get internet from somewhere. Maybe that's the issue.
But then Josie tried to come in, but she called me before and told me that she couldn't get in. Really? And I got people lined up for 7:00 too. So in a way, it's good because we could just shit around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what do you have planned, Jeff? I know you got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking to continue to grow the show. I have, Lee. I'm I'm pushing 1 million listens on my podcast. I've had about 40 episodes. It's really just about continuing to delve into mafia history, trying to grow my YouTube channel. I'm up closer to 2,000, trying to get to that. And, I really never know what the future holds. Maybe I'll fight again. Who knows? I wasn't good this time. I have to be better next time. But all in all, I had a good year. And it was a wild year on this thing. I started my channel in July. I went away for a bit. Then I came back. I know you and I. Lee, let's ask ourselves. Let me ask you, Lee. Would you agree that your and I show on Chris's channel might have been the best show of the year overall on any channel?
He played it twice.
It might have been the best show.
And got 3,000 views twice.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been the best show. Let's just say.
Yeah. I mean, people might say, oh, drama. But, Steve, once again, thank you. You really, your gift already this month has been wonderful. But thank you. Entertainment, both for you guys, really bought it. Joey gets a bad rap. He seems to be a solid dude. Joe is a solid dude. The more you learn about him, the more solid you can see he is. Okay, so what if he's an old guy with a big Snicker collection?
And collects jerseys and stuff. Who cares? They got good resale value.
Well, I'm glad you didn't come on with your Crip thing today.
Oh, come on. You don't like the Tupac? Come on.
You were getting hell for that, right?
Oh, but listen, I get hell for anything. You don't see the messages I get. If it's a hat, they're making fun of it. If it's the bandana, if it's the fedora, doesn't make a difference what it is. Some people like it, some people don't. So
okay, let's see here.
It's all fun, really.
Michael Hemsey says, Jeff Nadeau, much respect for you getting in the ring, pal. Let me ask you a question, Jeff. When you went into the ring that night, I noticed you were walking. How nervous were you?
I wouldn't say I was nervous. You have to understand there were a lot of people there. Most of them hated me. There was a lot of things being said in that crowd. I had a little adrenaline rush for sure, and that's the reason I completely abandoned the training that I had. Once you walking in there and you get into the ring, you have to realize there's a lot of people watching. There's a lot of people in there. I was a little nervous, but all in all, it was fun. I had a great time with it. And I knew that ultimately whatever I did would have been a win for me. So,
and Jersey Jerry, if you watching this, I'd like to tell you something. Come the third round, you were dead. You had no energy left. If it went 5 rounds, you were going to get knocked out. There's no doubt in my mind.
Another round, even
he was done. I seen that thing.
I should have threw some uppercuts, Lee. That was looking back. I wish I would have did a little different.
What you should have done was when he started charging at you, just take one step to the left or right, because he was leaning on you. You would have fell through the ropes. The fight would have been over.
Mickey, you gave me $5, but I can't say that because it's kind of political and it's deeply political. But I do agree with you. I am an Irishman.
Hey, Lee, let me ask you. If we were to, and I've said this, and I've asked this before, what if we were to create 3 fights in the Mob Tube community? What would be the best ones?
First one, Ali against FBS.
I think it'd be a fair one. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
BK Shylin, what up?
Ali, would you
Yes,
fight?
sir.
Would you fight FBS in the ring?
In a minute. Hold on. I want to clarify something. I've never, ever asked FBS for the money back.
Okay.
I heard someone say that.
Yeah, I never heard you say that either.
I didn't either. So,
Okay. Yeah. Just it's on the comments. So, thank you, boys.
So I would say the first fight I would like to see would be FBS against Ali. I can honestly say that. Another fight that would be good. Joe, give us another fight that would be good. Joe against Tony.
Well, what? Fucking 2 hands tied behind my back? No. Something good would probably be the girl Josie and my old friend that has a channel.
Oh, Josie
That
got
would be
that.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Nah, I'm just kidding.
I ain't getting in. I won't get in the ring. I won't get in the ring with
Josie versus Shanna would be good. Yeah, that would be a good fight. Yeah.
I'd pay for that. That'd be nice.
I wouldn't get in the ring with Josie.
You do?
sorry.
Oh, shit. I'm lost.
So, Jeff, who were you thinking?
Gravano.
Oh, Gravano against who?
Me.
He's 80.
I don't care. If he agrees, I'm in.
The dude, he'd kick your ass.
Nah, I wouldn't care. I just want to fight him.
Yeah, but I think Gravano's 77 years old.
I know. I'm just. Messing.
Yeah.
But, no, in the Mob 2 community, I don't have any beats. I guess for money purposes, I guess I don't know who would be kind of.
Nobody in this genre.
Than me. I don't know.
Nobody in this genre would fight Anthony Caiucci.
What about Gunner?
He'd kick all of our asses.
Gunner,
together.
you know what?
All of
Gunner against Anthony Caiucci. Did you ever see his videos, Anthony Caiucci, his jiu-jitsu videos?
I'd fight Highlight. That'd be a good. I'd fight him.
Highlight?
Yeah, I don't not like him. I just think it'd be a fight that would garner some money. So I'd fight him.
Well, I would think Highlight would be good against what's his name? It's Gunsmoke.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Because
I seen these karate and jiu-jitsu masters in my day that were very, very tough guys. I've seen them get hit once or twice, and it was nighty-night. So
Yeah,
I don't know how much that's going to help you.
Yeah, Anthony Caiucci's a street guy, though. So I wouldn't see that. I enjoy his, a matter of fact, his show Mafia Mayhem I actually enjoy it. Have you seen that show, Jeff?
I have once. I don't know a ton about the guy. I have done a little research on him, though. He did have some connections at some point. I know he was down in Florida. Hey, Lee, let
Right.
me ask you. We talked about this one time. Now, obviously, we need Vinny completely healthy. Hypothetically, Lee versus Vinny, that'd be a decent.
I'm going to tell you something, Jeff. 10 years ago, I would fight any of these guys and I would take
You
them.
would, yeah. I'm sure you would.
Okay. I can tell you that.
I believe.
And you know, they could say, even at my age right now, there's quite a few people I could, underestimating people and stuff is a very bad thing.
Yeah.
Once my back went, it did a lot to me. But there was a time I used to bench 400 pounds for several years. I mean,
No shit.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I used to work out like a madman. And then when I stopped working out, it turned to fat.
Right.
So,
How good.
but I used to be as strong as a bull for a long time.
And you know me, when I get intimidated and stuff, what do? I run and get the guns and bring them on the show, right? And start talking the weapons and stuff like that. So be careful, guys. Be careful what you wish for.
Boy, Ali, you're having a lot of trouble with your internet tonight.
I pulled over. I pulled over. It's I don't know what it is. It just keeps on blocking me.
Oh, we thought you were with the female or something. You kept clicking off real quick. I didn't know if you were.
You're making me blush.
We're going to get into another. We're going to get into another subject. It's called the Tony subject, and it's perfect right now because Romney's here. Now, Romney really stuck up for Tony for quite a while. Many people did. Many people gave him a lot of money, and Tony turned on them all.
Yeah.
So, what is your opinion of that, guys?
He's a racist.
Racist?
Tony.
Yeah.
Look, I'll say this about him. I hope that he finds some peace in his life. I really do. I don't know the man. He's done some things to me. He called my father before, which I thought was out of line. I do give him the benefit of the doubt. He was trying to call me. I'm not going to make a big deal about it. All in all, I wish no ill will on him, even though he's done things to me and said things about me. I wish him the best. I hope he finds some happiness in his life. And I got nothing more to say about him.
Yeah.
You guys are frozen on my screen. I don't see anyone's lips moving or anything.
That's your internet.
Fucking damn it.
Yeah. It's a
Ronnie
Canadian thing.
betrayed the army, another Judas.
Tony called you dad?
I think the army betrayed the army on that one.
Someone called my father. Yes. Now I don't. I think they thought it was me. We have the same name, but
Holy shit.
my
So,
parents.
Jeff-
My parents are. They. Like I said, I've had people call them before, but listen. Some of these people get crazy. I didn't make a big deal about it. I never mentioned it. But again, all in all, he has said some very vile things about people on the internet. And I hope he just maybe in the new year decides not to do that. But yeah, I have nothing more to say about him.
Yeah, describe to me what happened with these phone calls you got.
This was around, this maybe was a month or two ago. I was getting some calls on my number and I just had randomly called my dad and he said, "Hey, are you getting any weird calls?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "So am I." And I guess they looked me up and found him, and we've had the same numbers for a while. And eventually they stopped, but what can you do?
Yep.
And did you get any calls, Joe?
No, but I'll just simplify everything so all the tough guys, in the chat can understand, okay, my position. So he had a problem with me, fine. So Johnny Mac gets on his show and he gives it up to me and says, I like him, Now, if my mind serves me right, okay, I heard Tony say, "Oh, I got no problem with Joey. I don't know Joey. Why does he get so upset?" Okay. So when I heard that from him, I said, you know what? He's just doing what he's got to do for his people. How could he be beefing with me? I never talked to the guy on a phone. We never hung out. You know what I mean? So basically, I looked at it like, all right, I'm just caught like in the crossfire of his beefs with other people. So I don't take it personally because I can't. You know what I mean? What could I do? So.
Well, I got another email yesterday from, I'm guessing it was Jarrod, from Sammy Gravano, and he made a good point to me that he said to me, after what he said about your brother, Lee, how can you even talk to him at all? You know, some people have said some things about my brother, but what Tony did was so far beyond the realm that I can never forgive him.
The shit
And
that's
he'll watch this right now and he'll get mad and he'll start talking about my brother. But you know what's the shame part? My niece, she was watching the show that night because she actually watched when he said that, and she's a 16-year-old girl. And she heard everything that man said about her father. And I never really told that to Tony. So I could say that now. And, you know, this is how low it's getting. I mean, you got two content makers right now getting as low as possible, threatening to go after people's jobs. I mean, the threats are like intense. And, you know, I never thought that I'd be the good guy, but I would never call anybody's job. And when you start, you know, I'll give you an example. I just recently heard someone say that they got the information on someone and the stuff they were saying. I was like, are you kidding me?
My heart dropped when I heard it. Wait till what you're going to hear about this whole thing soon. Wait. My heart fucking dropped. I was like, what the fuck? What? it like mind blowing, not like a little thing. Oh, I found this out. No. So buckle up.
Yeah, I don't know how low you have to go, to be quite honest. You know, why, and I'll continue to say this. Why are you going into people's personal lives? It means nothing to this. You want to go at me, you call my hair.
Scott old.
Again,
Yeah, his homies are feeding it. That's the problem.
But again, you want to go up my hair, you want to call me fat, ugly, I don't care. But what is my sister? What is my father? What do my family? What does anybody that is related to me have to do with this at all? You hate me that much. You don't even know me. I've never spoke to you in my life. That's the truth. That's where I draw the line. I wouldn't do that.
Well, you know, since I've been here, I've molested children. I've ripped off someone close to me and took her credit card and wiped out a bank account.
Right.
I can go on and on the things that people say. And when trolls get in here and they start stuff, and rumors especially, they're really good at it. And it's devastating stuff. But here's the problem. The content makers go with it.
Bingo.
They go, okay. When the content makers get something that they like that helps them, they will use it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
I was told for a long time that there's one of my moderators has always been fair to me, but no used to attack me. But you know, and it's new beginnings. And I was told that was my daughter. I had people checking on my real daughter. I had people calling where I live to tell people that, you know, there's this fake thing that I can only make so much money. Well, actually, that's partly true. But they literally tried to say that I had a business from home, call where I live, thinking that my house, that I live in housing, which I don't. You know, that's just a myth. That's a lie. And so this is what they do. I've been told that I don't have a car. You know, you can go on and the shit that people say. And here's what I really hate. When stupid people call me stupid. That's what I really hate. And when someone calls me stupid, it's my job to prove to them I'm not stupid. And they're not going to like the results. And especially when someone that's not too bright calls me stupid. And Joe, do you like being called stupid?
No, but you know, here's one thing I noticed, because you know, people could think I'm dumb or whatever. That's fine. I might be dumb. But one thing I'm realizing about this YouTube, okay, so I do a show with Vinny, right? And it's a piss poor show. We only get 40 people in the chat. You know what I mean? Some guys get 250. They're big shots, right? They get 250. I get 40, okay? So then recently, I noticed if I'm beefing with someone, Those 40 that are in the chat go to like 3 times that, right? So it's like, all right. So now I'm thinking 120 people were just in our chat. Then shit, we got to keep that going. We got to keep going with the beef, and you keep playing into it. And that's the big problem. The 40 people that are in my chat are going to be good people that I like, people that I could talk to. 120, 180, 250. They're only there for the drama. The minute the drama stops, it's like a guy taking steroids that's an athlete. When he stops, he figures I'm going to lose all my power. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be able, I can't stop. I've been doing this for so long. Well, guess what? These guys with the beef, it gets their viewers up. They just can't stop. It becomes like a drug. They get addicted to that. And that's why we are where we are.
And Jeff, what do you think on this?
Just as far as all of it in general, listen, I'm going to continue to say it, and I'm going to continue to say it, and I'm going to continue to say it. I don't give a fuck who you like or don't like. That does not mean I have to like or dislike them. That's all I'm going to say. All these people, as I've said time and time and time again, I wish all of them the best. They're free to do their own shows. The good thing is it's their show. It's your show, Lee. It's Vinny's show. It's Chris's show. It's Jeff Canarsi's show. Whoever does shows is their show. They want to go on and do this and do that. So be it. That's not how I do content.
I just had someone say, and I'm not going to put out names right now, but I just had someone say, because I'm friends with Gene Barillo, that they don't want me in their chat room. But it's okay to be friends with someone who's friends with Jimmy Calandra.
I'll say this. And
what I'm trying to say is this. Everybody in this genre is associated with a rat in some way.
I'm not at all. I've never been. I never will be. And that's nothing against.
But let me ask you a question, Jeff.
Yeah.
Say Sammy Gavano came to you and said, "I want you to do an interview with me."
Yeah.
Would you turn it down?
I've said time and time again, the only 2 people that I would ever interview in person, not over the internet, in person, were Franzese and Gravano. The only reason,
two of the biggest rats.
Yes, and the reason for that is I don't feel that the other individuals involved on YouTube or that are out there publicly, I don't think they're that consequential to the history of the mob, and I don't think they mean that.
How about Joe Messino?
Of course.
I mean, he's as big as them. He's a lot bigger than Francis.
Well, but Joe Messino's not around, and I don't think he ever will be. That's the thing. He's never going to come out of the woodwork. That's just my opinion. I don't have any ill will towards those people. They did nothing to me.
Why is it that way? Like, I remember when fucking John Miller, who's like the security chief for the NYPD, he did an interview with Bin Laden. Did people fucking chop his head off? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing with this piece of shit? He fucking killed all these American people or whatever. When you have, if you're a content creator, why would you want to like say, no, I won't talk to him, but I'll talk to him. I mean, it's because in the end, there are people that want to hear from Sammy. People like hearing about Sammy.
Guys, Steve Sanderosa says, best feud of 21, FBS versus Lee, great entertainment. Both you guys really bought it. Joe gets a bad rap. He seems to be a solid dude. And I just want to thank you for the...
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to have somebody here who just got blasted the other day. And
leftover pizza. He doesn't own any hats. That's what it is. The hats shrink. This is a brand new hat.
Gunnar, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on? How you guys doing?
We're having a great conversation here. And
I just walked in from deer hunting, so I literally just walked in.
Do you guys know Gunnar?
I don't.
I know Gunnar. Remember me, Gunnar? You sent me that nice message last week.
No, but I don't remember. What was it?
Nothing. You told me to go F myself. No, you told me just stay focused on your content and give people, a good show or whatever, and don't worry about the bullshit.
Yeah, well, I stick to that.
Yeah, I saved it. I'm going to frame it on my wall. If I send it to you, will you autograph it for me?
Come on, now you're busting my balls. Come on. So, yeah, it's this whole thing with the whole me blasting. I gotta admit, bro, it's to me, it's embarrassing the fact that I even have to come on here and justify, validate anything I do or say. But I want to address, I mean, normally I wouldn't do that because I don't give a shit about some nobody talking shit about me, and it happens, you know. And Michael Francis, I email him, we're talking, he's going to be on my show. And he said, you know, glad you're staying out of that bullshit. He's like, the reason why they talk about you and us and everybody else is because they don't have anything to talk about themselves, you know, as far as their own content, whatever, which is true. So I kind of stick to myself and just, you know, I'm no mafia expert. I'm an expert on my own life, the things that I did. A lot of it was involved mafia before I went to prison. A lot of stories, more street stuff, just kind of nothing really spectacular. I never ratted on anybody, so there's no headlines in the newspapers. There's not a ton out there about me, and nobody ratted on me, and so that's not there either. But the dude is some of the things that I don't know. I didn't hear the video or see the video. Just have people message me, and typically I'm just like, yeah, I don't give a shit what he says or anyone says. Really, I'm busy. I'm deer hunting, you know, or whatever. But when they started telling me some of the things, it's absolutely absurd. Like, all right, let's start with the fact that he says that I'm on drugs. All right, I'm on speed. Listen, I am the nerdiest mother effer you'll ever meet in your life. I live 5 hours from the nearest big city. I hunt every night. I fish all the time. I write books for a living. I got 4 chickens. I live on a homestead on 20 acres. Here's the thing. I have energy because this is my snack. It's an apple, right? I got fruit juice here. I eat pretty good. I work out, you know, several times a week. Been doing that for 35 years, and I'm pretty healthy. I think the main reason I have energy that seems to surpass the average person is I'm very happy to be here, alive, all right? Because all the stuff that I did before I went to prison, I should have been killed a bunch of times. I could have been killed or longer in prison. So I did 13 years in a cage. Now I live my dream. I live on a beautiful homestead, a beautiful wife, a good burgeoning career. I'm very happy. So if I get out here and seem to have a lot of energy, it's not meth. It's just simply happiness. So there's that. What else did he have to say about me?
Okay, here's the one thing I'd like you to clear up so we can get it cleared up. There was a letter sent from you, and I received it too, and it seemed like a scam, and it didn't seem like it came from you.
Instagram. Let's stop right there. I know where you're going. So my Instagram got hacked and stolen by some Nigerian mud huts. I immediately put a post out on YouTube, said, hey, if anyone messaged you, because somebody messaged me like, yo, I just got a weird message from you, bro. It ain't really you, is it? I'm like, what? He's like, oh, they're asking for $500. And let me give you a quick backstory on how that happened.
Oh, well, just before you say anything, I got your message when I wrote you and told you that I got it, and you gave me the same message. And it was totally unfair that he put that shit up from you because I got the same message.
Listen, let me clarify that up. First of all, he's lying, and I'll tell you, I proved you how. But whatever, the Instagram, I'm just how naive and stupid I am. You know what I'm saying? So my Instagram is like 5,000. It's getting up there. I don't do it a whole lot, but you know, I'm trying to get up there. And a couple of people said, "Hey, there's another account. Is this you?" And I'm looking. I'm like, "No, it ain't me. It's my name. It's, you know, it's all that. But it's not me." So now 2 or 3 of these fake Gunner Detroit accounts pop up, and then shortly after, it's all a long-term play. These scammers do, I guess. And then they message me on my Instagram messenger and say, "Hey, listen, we're Instagram security. And listen, you're getting like replicated or whatever they say. The people are trying to pretend they're you. So we want to verify you with the blue dot." Now my ego's like, I'm going to get the blue dot. Yeah, hell yeah. Like, what I got to do? So I go through this process of all this bullshit they have me do. They even make me have do a video saying, this is Gunner Limblom. I'm thinking it's Instagram. Totally think it's Instagram. And then, of course, they steal my Instagram and hack it and start begging for money like crackheads. So I put a video out and say, listen, if anybody messages you, this is a joke. I've never asked for money from nobody, ever. I don't need to. I make plenty of money. I'm very comfortable. And on top of that, I'm not rich. All right. I'm just comfortable. But I have a lot of friends with big money. Big money. One of my homeboys owns a $40 million freaking dispensary. I got guys who, if I called them right now, I could call 5 people, including Larry Mazza, who actually has loaned me money before several years ago when I needed the money. Because my wife was out of work and I was trying to do the Italian festival. I needed a bunch of inventory, and I'm like, yo, I'm like $5,000 short. Can you float me? He did. Boom. I got people who would just give me money. And they just say, what do you need, man? Here you go. Here's a check, a wire, whatever. I'd never, ever have ever asked for any donations on my channel. I don't ask for, in fact, I tell people, don't super chat me. Just buy my books. All right. Don't super chat me. Buy a tracksuit or something. I don't want free money. I want charity. I'll earn it. I never asked nobody for nothing. And then here's the thing. So he says that he got a message from me saying that I was asking him for money. First of all, the fat dope knows that freaking I got an Instagram hack. Everybody knew that, but he's going to put that out there. Second of all, he's flat out lying. I didn't know who the F he was. I had never heard of him in my life. He wasn't a friend of mine on Instagram, I don't think. So here's the reason I know it was a lie that he said somebody sent him a screenshot. Because here's the thing. Some of the dorks, when I had A-Light on, some of the obsessed ones who either didn't like him or did like him were messaging me on Instagram saying, why would you do that? Why would you have A-Light on? Why? And then like, A-Light, you talk trash about A-Light before, blah, blah, blah. And I finally said, listen, I didn't know him and I don't know him now. I don't really give a shit. Beat it. You know, you're a weird little mob group. You get the fuck out of here. So one of those dudes must have gotten, because the scammers were only going through every one of my IG messages. So they'd find somebody that I had already IG messaged on my Instagram and send them a message, you know. And I know the fat bald one, he wasn't one of them. I never heard of the mother effer. So he's like, oh, I got a screenshot of it. No, you don't, bro. Somebody sent you a screenshot, but that wasn't for me. First of all, that's one, that's a lie. Two, you knew it was a scam. Why would you bring that up? I mean, why would you do that?
Because he's vicious.
Yeah, vicious, a weasel, man. He ain't nothing is what he is. You know what he is? Nothing. He's talentless, futureless. He's gonna go nowhere. The guy's got, what does he got? What does the guy freaking got in life? He gets on YouTube with his 4,000 subscribers and gossips about shit he don't know nothing about, never lived, never been around, nothing, never knew a mobster, nothing. He's a little small-time nickel bag coke dealer back in the day. I mean, get the frick out of here, man. That's a freaking joke. That's why typically I wouldn't even address it. It's a joke. What else did he have?
Well, I want to ask one question. Jeff Nadeau.
Yeah.
If you had one question you had to ask of Gunnar Lindblom, what would it be?
You got it wrong.
That's a good question. Well, I know he knows Scott. I'm very close to Scott. I've asked Scott about him. He has checked him out. He mentioned, I don't have any ill will towards him. I don't know him that well. When I get to Detroit, maybe his name will come up. I'm sure it will. As far as any question, I would probably just ask him about his prison time and what happened there.
But that's, I mean, listen, that's not even the interesting part. If you have some interest in mafia history, prison isn't the question to ask.
No, I'm just saying, like, I would ask a 5-tool thing, really, from his inception to his life.
Yeah.
Now.
Okay. So let me tell you. So I don't know how much you know, but Scott's kind of confirmed and verified all this. So I never really felt like I had to explain it. Not saying to you, to anybody, but when I reached out originally to Scott 5 years ago, whatever it was, that when I was promoting my book, he said right away, I looked you up. I know who you are. I talked to him, got feds. And even just recently, the underboss's, the old underboss's grandson, he asked him, he's like, hey, you're like Gunner's age, right? You know Gunner? And the guy's like, yeah, I know Gunner. He was a fucking live wire, that kid. He's a maniac. And then Scott told me, he said that. I'm like, well, that sounds about right, because I was really bad. But other than that, growing up, that's the thing about me. I'm not bragging or trying to say, oh, I'm a mob guy. I just grew up in and around mafia figures, mafia family. My mother was Grace Carmela Tocco. All right. Her father, Peter Paul Tocco, was the first cousin, a few years older than the boss, Jack Tocco. We all lived like 3 blocks apart. The whole mob lived within like 5 blocks, right? Jack Tocco was one of my grandpa's Gumbatis, one of his best friends. They grew up together, first cousins. They were very good friends. He was at our house all the time. Was I tight with Jack Tocco? Not really. I was a kid. He was an old man. I knew who he was as a teenager. I got schooled to the game. My uncle Peter Tocco Jr. would explain who's who. And then I kind of, when I was like 17, 18 years old, I went to jail for selling steroids, which actually was an organized crime bust. You can look it up. Go to Macomb Daily and look up the steroid bust 1990.
So let me ask you real quick, and I'm directly here with you, and I'm asking you. So you would agree you weren't a mobster? You're not saying you were a mobster?
Yeah,
right?
no. I mean, I would never say I was officially a mobster at all. No, hell no. I'm not.
You lived in the area. You had connections to people that were. Which, when I asked Scott, he verified. I didn't know much about you.
It's more than that, Jeff, because around 18, 19 years old, Tony Giacalone took me under his wing and started having me work security at poker games and doing stuff, muscling stuff. I beat the shit out of this guy who was messing with his Gumar. So I was doing all this. So, I mean, I was with and around high-level mob guys all my life, but really starting at like 18 years old, all the way till I got locked up. The last year and a half after Tony died wasn't a lot. I was more on my own, just doing, criminal crap on my own. I had a crew of criminals, and then we were all somehow tied, had connections, my uncles and everything. But I never walked around saying, "Yo, I'm in the mob." Hell,
Right.
no, I would never do that. I didn't care. I was a lazy criminal. All I wanted to do was bang chicks, go to the beach, work out. And as long as I had 10, 20 grand in my pocket for lawyers and bond and hanging out and partying, whatever, I didn't really care. I didn't even look at it, the fact like Tony wants me to go freaking shake down this bookie, right? Oh, it's a mob move. No, I'm just going to make some money is all I'm doing. And I get a couple grand. That's it. So all my life. So when I was 5 years old.
Hey, Gunner, 1 second. Tom, how you doing?
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
What's up, Tom?
Still alive, Tom?
Okay. Listen, Gunner, you know, I'm going to do a different interview with you with that other stuff. I don't want you to think I'm being rude to you or anything, but I'm just trying to get everybody in here.
All stuff. That's cool. What else did you say?
I ask you a question, Tom. Do you know Gunner?
I had the pleasure of interviewing him twice, and the last one, he crushed it. I still have my notes from it. We discussed why the Detroit mob in some ways is more powerful and adapted better than an NYC Cosa Nostra. So he's a gentleman in my book.
I'll eat your bar, $90. He says, we'll join when I get home. 20 minutes. I will pay to fight that short neck, no night scammer. Happy New Year's. P.S.
Hopefully we'll be off for 19 minutes.
He said, Nadu, smile, man.
He'll be there. He'll be in 20 minutes. All right. So let's end it in 19 minutes, the show.
I'm just curious. What else did this dude say in this video that was supposedly that he was trashing me? Drugs, or I wasn't. What did he say? I wasn't a leg breaker for Detroit. I don't know what you would call me then. I mean, that's basically, they literally called me Tony Jack's pit bull. That was what they called me. So if they needed, why wouldn't they use me? I'm a big, tough guy who's notorious in the neighborhood for breaking people's jaws and beating people's asses. So Tony's like, yeah, send this guy a message. So I would go do that. Was it a daily thing? No. Was it a weekly thing? Yeah. And I did rounds for him all the time. I don't know what else I could tell the guy. I mean, that was my life. Then I went to prison. I got busted, went to prison. Oh, that's another thing. Like him or Calandra, one of these guys are like, oh, he didn't rat because he had nothing to rat on. That's the dumbest, most asinine thing I've ever heard. Because 20 minutes after I was arrested, the FBI were in the freaking bullpen, pulled me out of the room and threw a bunch of pictures, surveillance pictures, and said, you want to talk? And I looked at him. I'm like, no, I'm not talking. I need a lawyer, man. I don't, And they said, you're going to go away a long time, 30 years. Yeah. Go ahead, Jeff.
And the truth of the matter is, and this is very valid, if you know anything about the mafia, Tom will back this up. Anybody will back this up. If you have any connections whatsoever, they will come to you. And the FBI isn't coming to random people's bail hearings and stuff. They're just not.
Man, listen, I was the first, the captain of the police in the precinct I was arrested was a black dude named Jackson. He walks up to me and goes, "You're Pete Toko's grandson, ain't you?" I looked and said, "Yeah." Now I just got my ass beat. When they arrested me, they stomped me out. I was bleeding all over the place. I told the cop in there I was going to kill him and his whole family. They all were. I said, "I'm killing your family when I get out, motherfucker." Freaking! They all beat my ass after I was caught. So anyways, they knew exactly who I was. The feds showed me pictures. They showed me the first picture they showed me was a picture of me walking in the Hazel Park racetrack. It's one of the few times that I did have an interaction business-wise with Jack Toko. I didn't know it at the time. Tony Jack said, "Go with your cousin, collect all this money." It took us 3 days. We counted it. He says, "Meet me at the track." I go to the track. We walk in. He says, "Go to his back office with me." We sit in the office. Tony gets on the phone, says, "Hold on." And then like 10 minutes later, the boss, Jack Toko, and his bodyguard come walking in. Now, he knows me. Jack Toko knows me. He's known me my whole life. He's my grandpa's body. He's at our house at least once a freaking week. He knows I'm a knucklehead. He thinks I'm a freaking lunatic, right? So he looks at me and nods, and then Tony says, the bag. So I give him the duffel bag, and they walk out and whatever. And so years later, the feds say to me, "You come in with a duffel bag at the track." They had the whole thing on surveillance. And they said, "What was in the bag?" And I told them sandwiches. I bring sandwiches to the boys. It's where all the bookies hang out. And he says, and then 20 minutes later, the boss shows up and walks out with the bag. I'm like, yeah, he took the sandwiches with him, whatever. They knew I was full of shit. And he says, "Tell me about that day. Tell me about this murder. Tell me about this." And I'm like, man, I'm not saying shit. And I told him, I threw his card at him, beat it. I puked on the floor. I literally puked. I knew I was going away a long time, but I wasn't telling. I wasn't going to break my grandparents' heart and just.
Gunner, I have a question, Gunner. Since the boss was your uncle or grandfather, could you have been made in Detroit? Because I know in Chicago, it's not just all Italian people that get in over there. There's like other guys, that
when I was about 17 or 18 years old, this conversation came up with my Uncle Peter Toko and my Uncle Sal Toko. We were both there, we were sitting in the basement, and they said, listen, you could, my Uncle Pete says, you change your name to Toko, our name, because you're a Toko.
Right.
Maybe the boss, we all, go on record and sanction you in 5 or 10
Hey,
years.
give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I want to say hi to Josie. Josie, how you doing?
Hi.
Who's that in front of you with the glasses?
Tweety.
It's my co-host.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, you can't
Well,
really see him. Here he is.
My uncle says to me, my Uncle Sal says, Alonzo, you don't want to do that. And I'm like, why? He's like, because then you'll put a bullseye on your back for the rest of your life. Every time you get stopped, they're going to chase you and follow you everywhere. Then if they tell you got to do something, you got to do it. Right now, you don't. You can walk away. You can do whatever the frick you want. And I did. And I used that freedom over the years. A couple times they wanted me to kill a guy. I was like, I'm not freaking killing the freaking guy. One of the guys I knew and I liked, I'm like, I'm not killing this freaking guy. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to say that to them, and they're like, what are they going to do? I'm not a made guy. You can't force me to do nothing. I liked having that freedom.
Okay. Gunner, one other thing. Basically, what was said is he basically told you to come to his house. And this is what I don't understand. Why in this genre would a man challenge people to come to their house when they have a family at their house?
Let me tell you a story, man.
This I can't understand. Because wait 1 second. You got a lot of people out here. We don't know everybody here. We don't know people in these chat rooms. Someday someone's going to make a challenge like that, and it's going to happen.
Well, listen, Lee. Listen closely. 2 months ago, he mentioned my grandfather's name. I get a call from my cousin. I haven't talked to him in years. He's, what the fuck is this? They're talking about grandpa. Somebody sent him the link. I said, man, I'm just telling my stories. And then he's like, well, now we're involved. So long story short is, he says, what do you got to do about it? He hangs up the phone. He gets mad at me and hangs up the phone. I call him back. His kid answers. I said, put him back on the phone. We talk. I calm him down. He says, you got to handle it. So I call one of my paisans. I said, hey, listen, and this is a true story. And hopefully anyone who's intelligent will understand why I call it off. So I got his address, and I was just going to go make a video. Got my boy, said, bro, you pay my bond and my lawyer. He said, rich friend. I said, you paid a bond, you paid a lawyer and the airfare. We go do this. Just video it. I'm just going to smash this dude, right? And he said, yeah, I got you. Let's go. So we start looking at the airplane tickets. I get the address. And a lawyer friend of mine in New York, he calls himself my wartime consigliere, which is funny. He says, this is what you got to think, Gunner. He's a fat dude with a heart condition, chain smokes. You're a big muscle-bound tough guy. If you beat him up and he dies, or you accidentally kill him, which could be easy for me to do. It'd be easy for me to just beat this guy's ass and kill him. I do what I want with him. But if he did die, now I've got a manslaughter charge, 20 years, 10, 20 years. That makes sense. Second thing, he says, he's going to sue you. The instant you blow up, get a movie deal for your book, anything, he's going to go, PTSD, I can't sleep at night, my head hurts, he beat me up, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to sue you. So now I got to worry about that. So he says, now you can do that. You go smash him. He's really nobody. You'll make a video, make him famous on YouTube a little bit, so you beat up the troll, whatever. He said, but you accidentally kill a guy, which is very possible. Then you go to prison. And that's dumb. You're a smart guy, man. You write novels for a living now. You have a great life. Why would you risk going to prison over just some fat dope, some mob wannabe, groupie on? And yes, you're right, man. I am smarter than that. So I called him off. And the other thing he didn't do, I was going to send him like one of these hats, right? A dead rat. I was going to throw the Detroit Art thing, throw a dead rat and go send his address just to let him know I know where you're at. Which I don't give a shit if he hears this and knows. Send it to the cops. Send it to the. You think I give a shit? Here's the thing. I don't care about a assault case. That's the thing. Dude, I did 13 years in prison. You think I'd give a flying fuck about a freaking assault case? That's probation, bro. It's 10 grand for a lawyer, 10 grand for bond, out of state probation, and no. I'm going to smash your freaking face in, but I'm scared to kill him. So I didn't want to send him the hat with the rat because now I got an extortion charge on my record. That's what I did the most time for, extortion. And so he'll just say, he threatened me. He said, give me money or else, and then sent me this hat with a rat and as a message. And next thing I go, the feds are knocking on my door and I'm getting charged with an extortion case. So I just let it all go. I don't care. It's just nobody. Dude, it's freaking literally nobody. I mean, so why would I even lower myself to that standard? I didn't.
Okay, Tom.
Yes, sir.
You've been going through a lot here with Tony. You've been getting a lot of threats and stuff. You've been probably taking the brunt of his Yeah, between the two of us. And I want to thank you for defending me when he was put my brother on blast. And after this show, he'll do it again because we know who he is. So I'm going to ask you, where is this going with everything that you could talk about right now? Because I noticed you wrote something about it before. So what's going on right now with this whole thing with Tony?
Well, I can speak to facts, because that's like whatever's out there is out there, and speak to facts. Can't speak to certain things because they're evolving as we speak. So the first is that it's interesting. So there's kind of two paths, right? There's criminal and there's civil, right? The cyber stalking thing, that's easy. The threatening of like the AGs, that's kind of like a little dicey, but that can come into play. The judge, like there's a lot of stuff. There's a parallel for criminal that is coming down. It's imminent, whether it be New Jersey or Florida remains to be seen, but one of those are going to hit. What also I find interesting is so if you're doing like, let's say a Cash App, right? And this we even talk about the defamation. So if like he's getting on me, I'm going to get Tom and let's get his family and let's get his unborn child and all this stuff. And when Mark and Sandra and Eugene send him money that day, because we could match him up, and they're like, go get him and I got your back and do it. And they encourage him to, they could also be willed in. He actually incriminated himself 3 times on your last podcast. So thank you for that. 3 times he incriminated himself. So that's just a criminal. Now let's get to the defamation. Because there was some injury, which I won't speak to economically, that I can now again go after him, but those people that encouraged him. So there's 3 people on my list that I'm going to be focused on, maybe 4 if I include Eugene, and it's all coming to the wash. And stop calling him Tony because that's not his name.
What is his name?
Just stay tuned.
Tom, I feel bad for you that you're even having to engage.
No, don't. I'll tell you why.
It's so far below you, bro.
No, you don't. No, Gunnar, I'm going to tell you why. I don't mind being in a leadership role, right? When you talk about a dead man's brother, an unborn child, a judge, an AD.
He's a homeless bum. I mean,
hold on. All these things. I feel it a duty.
Yeah.
To take the lead on this, to stamp this roach out. That's it. I don't mind. It's going to probably cost me upward of 20 grand, and I'm not flinching because it's worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, now Josie, what do you?
Yeah.
Now Josie's gotten a lot of abuse. She had her job threatened night after night. Where do you stand on this, Josie?
On pizza?
No, I never.
Pizza?
You've been threatened from every
What are we
side,
talking
Josie.
about?
You've been threatened.
Okay,
Just cover what you want to cover.
Okay. Well, I mean, as the subject is Tony Pizza right now, we'll get to my co-host in a minute. But as far as I'm concerned, right, I got into an argument with him because of the way he was talking about Shannon, the way he talks about women. That's how me and him got into it. So he basically, then I became a moon cricket. I was this, that, the third. So after a while, I had enough of that. I let him do it, then I had enough of that. So he was live one night and he was doing it again. So that's when I called him and I asked him specifically what was, why he was mad at me. What did I do? Prior to this, when he first came out the gate, I felt sorry for him. I didn't send him a lot of money. I'd send him 20 here, 20 there, about 60.
I almost sent him $100, but before I did that, by the way, I said, hey, I'd get you a job that pays pretty good. You interested? He never answered. So I was like, I'm giving the guy, because I didn't know nothing about him at the time. He's a homeless guy.
Right. So that's kind of how it started. Right. But, and so we kind of made peace at that point. And then, the way I look at it is like this. When Tony Pizza first came out the gate, he was like a wild card. Nobody really saw him coming, right? So here he is, he's doing all this and that. And Lee and Tom, you both have to admit, you wanted him on your side, Lee, because, me and you were going at it. Come on now. You and him were going.
I admit it. I admit it.
Wanted him on your
side. Without a doubt.
I admit I would have wanted him on my side too. Tom, I think, saw an opportunity because he did seem as though he had a story. He seemed real to me. You know, now how real that is debatable. Everyone has, you know,
Oh no,
I've
Josie,
heard
I'll have the full dossier out in a week, so just stay tuned.
right. So I've heard a lot since, but everyone was looking really to, you know, try and do something with this guy. You know what I mean? Now, Tony Pizza cannot be contained. You know, he just can't. And he just is what he is. He's at that age. It's not like, you know, we can send him to elocution lessons and retrain his brain. I mean, I've been called every name under the sun by him. So, you know, that's, I couldn't care less at this point. But, you know, he's a very smart man. And let me tell you why. Because what happened when Tom got him that hotel room and he was going to do the aftermath, right? He did one show about his life after the mob or whatever the hell he was doing, whether he's an, you know, I don't know what the hell he was. He did one show, and that show didn't get the views, the money, the subs. So he's going where the money is, and the money is to bash you, FBI, everybody. Right. You know what I mean? And that's what this is about. It's about if he got on here now and he made peace with every single person that he's gone after, what do you think is going to happen? You know, he's not going to get the money. He's going where the money is.
But what does that tell you about his demographic, though? Look at his demographic. The people who are watching him like it's entertainment. This guy has no real content value at all. If they just want drama and, you know, I don't know what they watch. I've literally tried to watch that dude like 5 times. I'm going to watch him. People got all these views. I'm going to watch it. And I'm literally like 3 minutes in, I'm like, I can't do it. I'm out. The same thing with Fat Paul Sicilian. I've tried to watch the show to see what he's talking, and he's not talking about anything of substance ever. It's always drama, or this guy said that guy. Like, I'm not into it, man. So I don't see what but
he made over $1,000 the other day. He made $1,000 in a couple of hours.
Yeah, well, God bless him.
People are paying him because they want to see the drama. They want to see the shit going on. He made $1,000.
Do you think they're paying them specific money? Like someone saying, here's $100 to talk about Tom. You think it's like that, or is it just in general?
In general,
that's possible. That's possible.
Josie, I can't speak for FBS because I'm not involved with that. But I've been quiet, so now I can start speaking little by little. So if he's doing a show on me and cause me some type of harm, and the guy with the CDL license, who what I'm going for, goes after him and is like, I got your back, and I'm going to get him, I'm going to kill him, I'm going to hurt him, or at least eggs him on to encourage him. That person's on the hook. That's what
right.
And we're going to.
That's what I mean.
And now listen, I want this clear as day, and he can do a reaction. Subpoenaing the Cash App records from Twitter, which owns Cash App. So every single contribution will be there. All the real names will be there, and the messages will be there. It's as simple as tying the message to the threat. And again, whether you're civil, that's the best way to play. 3 states I got to do, which is I'll do. And then there's criminal. Now, where it got criminal was when he involved the judge, and he involved an AG, and he involved actually people in my family. And I have records of all. The best part is he admitted on 3 different incriminating things on these shows alone. So I don't know how this guy's smart. Basically, he's like God. He keeps the ball.
Well, no, when I say smart, I'm talking about, you know, as far as money. That's what
hustling these groupies that follow him. Yeah.
Hold on, real quick. Dave, the strategy's already done. I can speak to it now because this stuff's already done, right? But number 2, Josie, you fancy me as a very intelligent person. He's going for short money. So he'll make $1,000 a day. He'll do this, and this. But there's an outside chance that he may be cuffed within a week. So, like, that's short money. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's a marathon, not a sprint, you know?
Tom, so if let's say it's proven, because obviously all the phone records, that might come into play. Yeah. So if someone says, hey, I'm going to send you $200, go after Tom and his family, or go after this person, is the person that's egging that on or giving him the money. Is he culpable in any way?
They could be both civil and criminally. So, for example, let's say criminally. So one's in Chicago and another guy's a truck driver. So we got to kind of pinpoint the day of where he was.
Mhm.
But so the woman and her husband, when they messaged Tony, I got your back after he's like, I'm going to kill your unborn son. If we can correlate the two at the bare minimum, I got him for defamation.
I just can't believe we're even having this conversation.
No, but here's my point.
You either.
Here's my point.
That makes two of us.
No, but Gunnar, here's my point. When you go after my unborn son, and this is documented,
I'm not blaming you.
It's over. Listen. I'm going to tell you this. He picked the right one on this. He picked the right one. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm not blaming you, Tom. Dude, listen, do what you do. I have a hard time wrapping my mind around the fact that there are weirdos out there who watch his show and say, I'll give you money. This is a homeless, jobless bum. He literally has no talent, no job, no nothing. He is nothing. He's he's as far down at the bottom of nothing as you can get. And people are going, yeah, I love this guy. Here's some freaking money. What the frick? What does that say about them? That's why when I told people on my channel a couple of months ago, I made a video and said, listen, I'm not after the freaking mob groupies, the ones who sit there and jerk off to Sammy the Bull and John Gotti posters. I don't care about them. You know why? They're not buying my freaking 500-page novels. They're not buying my $150 tracksuits. They're not. They want the drama and the chaos. And I'm not going to give it to them. You know what I'm saying? It's just not me. I'm not into it. I come on here to share a couple old war stories, maybe talk about my book a little bit. I'm gone. I'm going hunting. The people who want that, go there and have that. But they are not the demographic I want or you want, Tom. I got a surgeon friend of mine who messaged me today. He's a surgeon. And he said, you need to go to freaking Philly and smash that dude's head in. And I said, do you hear yourself, bro? You're a freaking surgeon, man. I said, be smarter than that. I'm going to throw my career away, Tom. You know that I have something going with a major network this spring, the biggest network in the world. And I'm going to be doing a show with them. What would you think that the producers of that show would say when they hear that I freaking went and yanked the guy off his porch and bashed his freaking face in and put him in the hospital for a week? You think they're going to want to go, here's a show, Gunner. You're a great guy.
No, but hold on. That's why the pen's mightier than the sword. And on top of it, and I'm going to be upfront again. Listen, I'm not to hide because this is where everything's in motion. So if I get hit by a head tomorrow, everything is still in motion. I had to do a private investigation, both off the book contacts, etc. He was a nobody, a nobody.
You can tell.
Nobody. No, nobody.
Yeah,
and nobody. I'm talking a nobody.
Yeah, nothing.
So that's why I had to make sure he wasn't somebody. So for the 1% chance, a cousin of a cousin of a cousin of a cousin, that has since been expunged. So now I'm free, or was free to do what I do. That's why it took so long.
Jeff,
Okay,
I want to go back to Jeff.
One second, Gunner, 1 second. Okay, so I got something here that said, Lee, I just want to answer this. Lee, you had no email from Sammy Gravano. Stop lying. I want to explain.
Okay, so I want things to be very clear on this. Okay, number one. Okay, Sammy has stated publicly that he does not know him, and number two, people know I have a connection to that family. I also found out privately he did not know who he was.
Okay, and here's what hold on, let me talk. Here's what I want to say. I wrote Sammy Gravano, I emailed him, and I did get a response back. And I do have the email, and I don't have to prove nothing to you. I got 2 from him. And as Gunner can tell you, he knows that Sammy Gravano actually talks to him on the phone. So Sammy Gravano is one of those strange guys that does reach out to people. And yes, I got
for him.
2.
No. Gerard handles his affairs.
I wrote
exactly.
Listen, his main guy is Richard Miller. His name is Richie Miller. Smart guy, smart. I wrote Sammy the Bull's first 2 podcast outlines for him. And then when I said, hey, I need to be paid for that, they're like, well, we're not in a position to pay you. I said, well, call me when you do. And then he kind of blew me off. And I was like, whatever. So I said a couple not so great things about him in an interview. But moral of the story is he did call me on Christmas last year. He does call once in a while or send a text. I accidentally butt dial him during the shows the other day and he answered. Anyways, I worked with that guy. I have an hour-long Zoom call with Sammy, which I could publish, but I'd look like an asshole because it was a private, Zoom call where I was helping him write this podcast. But the thing about Sammy is he's so self-absorbed. He's like this. If you can't help him in some way, then you're just like he watches.
So hold on. The first crack in the armor of Tony's story was chopping up the 20 G's at Tally's in the 90s. No, didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't even know his story. What does he claim? He claims to be was a wise guy back in the
I'll
day.
do one better. He also alleged that he was related to the Corona Contrera, which is the largest embargo, the largest distributors of cocaine in the world. Like they have like $50 million penthouses in Manhattan. You can see my podcast.
Why is he homeless?
I could do one better. I interviewed the guy who wrote the book on them. He put me in contact with certain people. Don't even know who he is.
Of course.
He's not even like the black sheep of the family who like, oh, that was Zio Toto's kid, and he turned out to be, a toothless, disease-infested dirtbag. He's not even
buy into this. Oh my God.
What? They're not even related.
Joe, thank you very much. 1 second,
And
guys. Joe, thank you very much.
Wait,
give me 1 second, please. Yeah. Joe, thank you very much for $49.99. Listen, people, if I miss anybody, I apologize. Right now, we have 290 people in here, so I don't.
But what I'm saying, stop calling him Tony Pizza because that's not his name. Just call him Pizza because it's going to be it's going to embarrass him even further.
It's embarrassing that we
is it an Irish name
about a homeless guy who's trying to beat
out guys.
It's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing for all of us. We're even here having this conversation. I feel like we're above it, all of it.
No, but what happens, Gunnar, as a man, once you cross,
I get it.
There's no going back. There's no going. I want to hurt him.
I probably would, but
no, it's not worth it for me.
Hey, Jeff, you've been very quiet on this. What do you think about what they're talking about right now about what's going to happen here because of someone verbally attacking like that?
I think it's crazy. I agree with Gunnar. I think it's crazy that we're even having these conversations. I don't understand it. Listen, I just sit back and listen to this because I think it's fascinating that certain people do this type of shit with their life. It's sad that Tom has to go to those lengths. For anyone that has an issue with what he's doing, you don't have a family, probably. You don't have a life. You don't have
Tom's not a gangster.
Right, exactly. 100%. And that's the thing. Like some of these people, I think, cosplay that they're like mafia members. And it's like, you're not. People that are rich or have money or just doing something with their life. What they do in the real world is sue people. That's what goes on. Okay. Yeah. If you don't want to get sued, don't be a fucking idiot. It's that simple. Yeah, exactly. So look, I don't have a family. Like I said, you can say anything you want about me, but Tom's got kids, he's got a wife, it's
okay. Well, while you're busy, when you all are kind of saying this, I'd like your opinion as men on what you think about my number being given out by FBS to all these guys to call my house to threaten to kill me.
That's fucking worse than fucking Tony doing it. That's worse than Tony doing it.
Freaking weasel.
That's fucking. That's unbelievable. If that really.
And also, really quick, just I don't mean to interrupt.
He publicly went live on his show and he said it's a call to arms. He said, I want people making shows.
I heard that. I heard that on Lee's show. Yeah.
People to hunt me down, do whatever they can to harass me, essentially.
Yeah,
because he can't deal with me one-on-one. He has to get 5 other men on that show to bash me Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Don't you have something to do those days? You know what I mean? He can't face me one-on-one. He's got to have a whole crew up there and then gets them to call me to tell me they're going to cut my throat and fucking kill me. So what's the difference between him and Tony?
I agree. And I want to say something really quick. And Josie, thank you for that. So I remember when Tony said something, completely inappropriate that I missed during a live, right? When I learned of it, I immediately took it down. I fought to find Josie. It was hard to find you. I came on a live and I directly apologized on his back. I was sick over it. I was sick over the thought that somebody said something about a woman. I saw a clip on the New Beginnings page. It popped up on my feed that he basically put a call to arms to ruin your life. Like not without it. And the other part is here's another little part that the law has to, people got to understand about the law. You can't hide behind dog whistles. Not only did he implicitly threaten you, but he also provided a dog whistle, which does not make any sense.
Well,
Right.
listen,
And the
with
dog
me,
whistle worked.
what do you think was going to happen if I went and smashed this dude? And I was this freaking close to that. You know,
I'll pick up your lawyer bills.
that first thing that's going to happen
On
was
me.
he was going to sue me. It was going to have been a lawsuit. So he would have came straight after my money. That's it. So I go bash his face in. First it's the medical bills, $20,000. Then it's pain and suffering, PTSD, blah, 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 blah. I'd be fighting this punk for freaking years in court. So I look like a freaking jerk off dumbass all the way around if I go do this. So but the weird thing about him is, to me, the weirdest thing about FBS to me is, why does he take my name and start just saying bullshit he knows nothing about my history? He's such a narcissist. I think the dude does never like watch any of my shows, never read anything about me, never read my book or the reviews, never nothing. And I'm not saying my book is me. I'm saying, but I'm a talented writer. He nothing. All he does is make up some book. He's a drug addict. I'm like, whoa.
Wait, Gunner, you're a talented writer? No, really quick, and I want to say something to resonate with Josie and Gunner. And it's not just putting it out there. Josie is a successful author. Gunner has a book. And what happens is I noticed that
I'm not successful.
People, no, you guys are authors, right? So you have a book out there, right? Or a few books, right? People were going for Josie's reviews and going for her book, and that could affect
me.
Correct, and that could affect.
Well, he said that,
right? So here's my point. Now you're going after Josie's money, really? Fuck that.
They did that.
He said that. He said that live. He said, "Let me." He told everybody in the chat, "Send me the names of her books. I'm going to go on Amazon." He said it all live, and so.
Yeah, and these people in the fucking chat that are supporting him, they're fucking pieces of shit that he did that, okay? He did that to a woman, okay? Think about it. Not even to you. But you know what? No, the thing is, Gunner, the thing is, though, you could handle yourself, okay? You understand? He's a man. He should know better than to go at a woman like that.
It's still
he knows I'm alive. He knows I'm alive.
Gunner, hold on for a second.
Quick,
Jeff,
I can
I'd
back
like to
up
ask you a
what
question.
Gunner was saying
Wait,
earlier.
hold up, guys. Hold up. Jeff, I want to ask Jeff this question.
Yes.
Jeff, you're neutral in this. Now, you heard this, what they said about FBS. What is your opinion on what they're saying?
I will say this about any single person on here that says it. If that is valid, that is vile.
It was.
That's simple. That's all I have to say
about
it.
My
what do you do to Vinny?
5-star review.
What do you do to Vinny and the charity? Vinny and the charity said that was a fraud. He was trying to help fucking kids. You say that's a fraud?
If I were him, I would just start worrying about myself and stop worrying about what everybody else is doing.
Yeah. Why are you talking shit about everybody else, man? Get a talent. Go do something.
Tony Pete's. Hey, guys, look, you got to keep in mind his mentality is he's like one of those guys that's in a wheelchair who lashes out and yells at passersby, and then the moment somebody says something back, he says, "Hey, you're bothering the guy in the wheelchair."
Yeah,
that's his mentality, and so when you give him that type of undue attention, what happens is it thrives and it becomes what drives him. And FBS is very similar. FBS is disingenuous as can be. Yeah. The whole thing with Gunner's IG thing back in September. Gunner reached out to me and others saying, "Hey, man, if you get asked for money by my alleged IG profile, it's not me. Mine was hacked." And so, FBS was sitting on that for the last 3 months, and now he decides to put it out because he had nothing else on Gunner. He got mad at Gunners, but he had to, in his mind, he's got to do something. He's got to lash out in some way. And he knew that was false. And even his own chat were saying in the live chat that, hey, those are probably hacked messages. Even his own friends were saying that, and he kept going with it.
Well, he also, dude, he calls me, says I'm a drug addict too, or I was an addict. What? Because about 12 months before I got locked up, I was using drugs. Also, I posted pictures in my community of my health at the time, my cars, my toys, everything. I looked exactly how I look now. I was a big bodybuilder. I worked out, had all these toys. Yes, I was using drugs. Doesn't mean I was a junkie.
Well, what business does he have calling anybody out, considering his whole
I
show
admit
format?
it. I was using drugs.
All of these mob tube guys are a bunch of ex-addicts and
Hold
current
on.
addicts in
Hold on a
denial.
second. Hold on a second.
And current too, not
Hold on,
ex.
That's what I said.
Hold on,
Current
Lee.
denial.
Yes.
Ex-addicts combined with
Hold up, guys. Hold
denial.
up.
Hold on, Lee. I'm going to share something, so it's from your channel, so it won't get copyrighted. I'm going to hit the
Okay.
share button. Okay.
Real quick, guys.
Yes.
I want to just say one thing. I got to jump.
Okay, hold
off.
up.
Okay,
Hold on.
I got to
Give me a
jump off.
second, watch.
All of you people in here have
Hold on,
always
hold
been
on.
nice to me. All of
Hold
you
on, I'm
people.
gonna add
I gotta go, Tom. Hold on.
Real quick.
Hold on.
Tom,
Yes.
Jeff's got to go. Let him X out.
Yeah, let
then
him,
you
let
can
him
put it
finish
on.
up,
He doesn't
Tom.
need me to X out. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Real quick. Outside of Lee, everyone in here has always been kind to me. If that shit is going on, especially to someone like Josie, she's always been very nice to me. I think she's a nice person. That's fucked up. Whoever did that, whoever's saying to do that.
Nice or not, you don't do
Yeah.
that, bro.
No, it's
Come on.
fucked up.
Hey,
if you
we get
seriously.
2 more people on, we can play it the mob version of Hollywood Squares.
And by the way, you're going to get more people. Vinny Bracco asked for a link, Lee. He texted me. So,
Huh?
listen, I wish you guys all a very good New
Before
Year.
you go, Jeff, I want to say
Happy
something to
New
your
Year.
credit. I want to say this.
Happy
You
New
didn't know
Year.
who I was, and you went to. Here's the difference between you and FBS. You didn't know who I was, really, nothing about me. So you held your breath and you waited. You had Bernstein, the expert, the real guy, expert. And you said, "What's up with Gunner?" He told you, and that was it. You never bashed me, trashed me, whatever.
I will say, Gunnar, I will say this, and I'm very open. From what I heard, I assumed you were a nobody. That's what I heard. Went to Scott. He told me the story. I haven't said anything since. And quite frankly, I'd like to talk to you if you ever had the opportunity. So
I'm down. I would like to
You know-
tell you more about my life and how I
Sure.
got here, whatever. So hit me up.
Hey, Jeff, thank you for being fair with me and the others too. And also, mad respect for stepping into that ring and going at it.
Oh, yeah.
the way
Well
that,
done.
You know, you
Well,
did
let me
it.
tell
You went
you,
in there and
JC,
fought, bro.
I think you're
Hey.
fucking hilarious. I was telling these guys last night. I think you're really funny.
Thank
Hey
you.
guys, just so you know, we're over the 300 mark of people watching right now.
What?
So
All
Hey,
right.
Jeff,
know.
do you think I could get
nothing.
a
Don't worry
sponsored
about that.
fight like that with the fat
Please.
kid?
I think
What's
I
that,
think you
Gunner?
I think an event should be started. Yeah.
FBS, I'll take him in the ring. And if I kill him, I won't go to prison for it. So I would like to do like what Jeff did.
No,
in the ring.
he'd rather fight me. He would never fight you. He'd rather go in the ring
No,
with me.
yeah, I know.
I would love that. I will give my purse to charity. So
By the
Yeah.
way, Ali, thank you for having me. I want to say one thing to the chat. Eyeball Patch says, Jeff, go get laid. That's why I'm leaving. I'm going to fuck his mother. I'll see you later, guys.
All right. Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
good way to
with
leave.
that, we will say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
Make sure you use
Condom.
protection.
Okay,
Hey, I take it you bought fireworks already, right, Jeff?
He looks excited to go. I don't blame him.
Oh, Mike Sandho, how about this? Why don't you ask the people that know me and have seen me in person if what that's going to happen? FBS is going to beat
one
me
second,
up?
guys, Vinny, I'm dropping a link. If you want to jump in, I'd appreciate it. Hey, Tom, can you take over my show for about 2 minutes?
Yeah, I got it. So
I appreciate it.
Joey, I had an exchange with you the other day. I wasn't a douchebag, was I?
Me?
No, you said I talked to you the other day.
No, I sent you a message saying, hey, I'm a wannabe YouTuber. Do you have any advice for me? Remember Bay 8th? Yeah, and you sent me back a nice. Yeah, that was me. Yep.
Okay, I
was saying thank you.
I got a question for the panel. We'll do ladies first. We get that their tensions are high. We want to support our people, right? But in case like FBS, case like Tony, where they just go wayward, right? Wayward, we're just do like the wrong shit. When does the audience and the wrenches and the people that sponsor them, when are they complicit? Forget about the legal aspect, because not everybody's a maniac like me who's going scorched earth, right?
I mean, they're complicit as soon as they attack somebody else in court.
Ladies first. I'm sorry. Josie to start.
I'm sorry. You're saying when does the audience?
At what point are people complicit? Like, for example, if you're a staunch FBS supporter, or you're a staunch Tony supporter, I can no longer identify with that. My moral and my values are inconsistent with who they are as people and who they support. When do their supporters also become complicit?
Ali,
well, I just think what happens is some people become like super fans. They become obsessed,
Yeah.
you know, and they really get invested in what's going on. You know, like for example, when he did that call to arms, he had all these guys up there behind him, the chat, yeah, let's get her, let's get her. You know, if something happens to me, who they going to? You know what I mean? So it's like, and it's not that I'm afraid of that. I'm not. You know, I've got that big gun in my trailer. I've got it in my cupboard, and that's what they'll be.
You know
getting.
what, Josie?
But, you know,
Josie, if anybody comes to your house, I'm sorry.
Nobody's gonna do shit to you, man.
Wait a minute.
Seriously.
I put my money on Josie. I got a funny feeling if anybody ever did that, they're not leaving.
Yeah, but here's the thing about it. Here's the bad part. You know, most people are normal, but you've got these kooks and crazies.
A lot of
out
weirdos.
there.
Yeah. I know.
It takes one.
That's what
We
happened
both
with
did that at the
Tom.
same time. One.
Yeah,
It
remember
just
when
takes
that
one guy.
guy, he said, give me the green light. Remember that? So
Yep.
you might get some fucking crazy maniac like that, you know, that he knows I'm alone. He knows I live alone. I live with my, you know, I've got my 2 dogs. So why are you sending men to my house? Why are you having men calling me?
Because he's a scumbag. That's why he did it. What real man goes after women? Seriously. What real man on earth
And why?
Well,
would go at a woman?
Let me tell you what his answer was. He got on there the other night and he said, yeah, Angel Gotti said a long time ago, if you act like a man, expect to be treated like a man. Now, that's fair enough. You know, as far as I'm on here, I talk big shit, I open my mouth, but I don't mind going
Well,
one
you know
on
what
one with
happens,
That ain't the Sicilian way. Trust me.
Yeah, you know what
That
happens,
ain't the
Josie,
Sicilian way.
is Fat Bald Sicilian loves to have it both ways. Whenever it's against him or Shanna, he does the don't talk to a woman or treat a woman that way. But if it's you or somebody he doesn't like, all of a sudden he's all about
Open
equal
game.
rights amendment stuff. Where
Shanna
they
sits
do
there
unto
talking
others.
shit.
It's the
I'm
civilian one
That
day.
ain't how we're raised. You
Wait,
respect the
guys,
woman.
I like to say one thing. 1 second. Josie. Everybody knows
Yeah.
Josie and I had our issues. Have I
Yes,
ever
we did.
physically, with everything we went through, have I ever physically threatened to come to your house, dox you, or anything?
Because you're a man.
No.
That's why you wouldn't do that.
Never.
And
see,
I
this
want to
is-
touch that a little bit because, you know, it keeps being brought up. Well, Josie did this to you. Josie did that to you. I did that.
I'm guilty
publicly
too.
to you.
I'm guilty of doing things to
You know, you
Josie.
did some shit too, now, Lee.
Yes,
But
that's right.
in any event, we've overcome it. And I did it publicly and I apologized publicly. I
Me
said
too.
I went over the line here. You know, maybe there were times where I went over or crossed the line when I shouldn't have. I apologized to you publicly. I apologized to you privately, and we're over it.
Yes.
You know,
That's
it
what
is what
adults
it
do.
is.
And just so you
People
know-
like FBS do a lifelong grudge. He'll never forgive anybody for anything because he doesn't have any scruples. He does what he wants
Well,
to
he
do.
told people that they can't go in other people's chat. They can't
Oh
watch
yeah,
other people's
exactly.
shows.
He's narcissistic,
He told people to
sociopathic.
insult to me.
Crazy, man.
All
You
this.
check
And
off
I
the
just think he's
boxes, and it's him. Yeah,
I don't
You know what's
target
funny?
that
Did you guys
demographic
notice
at
the
all.
mustache looks a little bit like a 1930s German guy, if you know what I mean? As of late, the way he trimmed
Yeah, Hitler.
it,
Or
some of
him.
those pictures, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
those
for
people,
real.
those people who get all spazzy in the chats and talking, there was a strange little subculture of like weirdos who are into that type of thing, and they latch on to their anti-hero or their hero, whether it be Fat Bald Sicilian or Tony. I don't know, but I know personally, me, I don't know what everyone here, what their goal or is their purpose, what market they're after, whatever. I'm really here to market my books. I'm build brands, sell my clothes. That's it. But those really weirdos, man, I try to alienate them so I don't have to deal with them in my posts. I don't do a lot of lives. I do 3 a week, but and if they pop in, I just get rid of them. I don't really have mods and wrenches, and once in a while I have a weirdo get in there. If he starts talking shit, I just say get rid of him and just go. That's not why I'm there. I'm a professional. I'm just trying to live my life and live. I do the best I can to live a good life, an honest life, a clean life, a happy life. I don't have time.
Well, and also, Gunner, most of these haters are full of it. Remember, there's a guy that tried to hate on you and me, claiming we didn't know anybody about Detroit or whatever. And one of the things they tried to say was they both have mentioned being involved with Chaldeans. And these guys from other areas, they have no clue that the Detroit mob does deal with Chaldeans. In fact, they do a lot of the stuff for them. And since they didn't know, they dissed us both. They're in their chat.
They're just goofy, man. These kids
Right, and so I don't have the time to answer each and every one of these.
I'm not going to,
and neither do you.
Care. Detroit is not one of those things where it's out there, it's high headlines, there's a bunch of rats telling, there's a bunch of high-profile cases that's in the media.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to know nothing about Detroit
for this because we were the types that would be out making a movie script and getting arrested all the time for mob stuff. They chose people for being smart, strong, and both.
What I tell listen, hold up. I want to ask.
We don't have the time to answer all.
Hold up, guys. I want to ask each person a question, starting with Joe. What do you think has to be done in order for us not to be like this anymore?
That
genre
has to ostracize someone when they do that.
Yep. Agreed. As a community,
completely, all of us just say, you know what? Fuck you. You'll be on an island all by yourself.
Well, that's what
Goodbye.
I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been doing.
So something like tonight, because what he would usually say, the first remark would be, "Oh, look at all the goofballs on Lee's show."
Well, it'll be 38, 40 fucking people, and there's only 41, 42 people on YouTube. So you do the math.
Yeah, I won't even look. I won't care. I just don't care. I don't even look. I don't care less about his groupies and being. I don't look. I don't care if they troll me. I don't even look at them. Thanks for the comment.
His whole thing is a giant NA or a giant AA meeting that they just happen to get involved with mafia talk.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. First of all, Vinny, how you doing?
How are you? I wanted to wish all of you a happy New Year.
I appreciate, and I'm going to ask all you guys. Wait a minute. I'm going to ask all you guys to make it. Tony's here right now and wants to come in.
No, I'm not sharing a screen with him. I'll jump off.
Okay.
If you want, I'll jump off.
Yeah, I don't want to meet.
I don't want to talk to him either. I don't know him. I can care less about him.
I just kicked him from the studio.
I love you to death.
I have no problem. I have no problem with Tony. I'm not mad, but
Lee,
it could go left.
Yeah, I don't have an issue personally either.
Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. Aspet. In fairness, we just said we need to ostracize.
Yes, you're right.
Bad actors. And in 2 seconds later, you're like, well, Tony's here.
Listen, no. Okay, listen. I put the link down. He jumped in.
Oh, you hit remove. You click remove.
And I did.
Thank you.
That's why it's a minute you said that. That's why I asked you guys.
And thank you for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
He's got no place here.
Yes.
What's the point?
Maybe the ostracizing should start right now. Maybe it should start now, moving
right
forward.
now, and stop calling him Tony.
So all of you guys have an interest in the mafia.
Should we call him Sean?
No comment.
Sean.
No comment.
I don't know. Sean's a good name. I would take that name if I could. Yeah, Sean, Joey, Sean's close.
Well, you know something, guys. There's been a lot of genre. There's a lot of things said here tonight. Now, if these guys come on their shows tonight and be attacking everybody, and that's what they're probably going to do, they're not learning nothing.
Yeah. That's the whole point.
I won't watch. I can care less.
If there's like 7 people, 7 or 8 creators, and you're one of them, and all other 7 are like, you know what? You kind of crossed the line. You did too much. You're facing jail time. You're facing civil issues for you and your people. Wouldn't you kind of say, you know what? Let me just take a break. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. If you're going to have the guy on the show that does that, then that's not going to help anybody. It might help your numbers initially, but overall.
And let me tell you why I asked you guys ahead of time. Because Tony had to see that people don't want him in here. And
listen,
I knew what the answer was.
Listen, if you want to see Tony, we just got to go to the cameras on McCall Avenue in Englewood, Florida. He was there yesterday. He may be there today. If you want to see Tony, we just got to go there.
This is going to end up bad. If someone gets hurt or something like that, you'd all feel guilty. We'd feel terrible if something like that happened. So we're adults. We got to use our heads.
Agreed.
Dude, I just want to say when Josie was saying about there's always one bad guy or there's one lunatic or whatever. I just want you guys to know, I look you dead in the eye and say, a couple months ago, I was literally one step away from being that bad guy, going back to the old me, going to this guy in Philly and bashing his face in. I looked at my wife sitting on the couch. She heard me making the arrangements. She was sitting there listening. My wife she didn't say nothing. She was on her phone like this. She hears me saying, book the flight. Let's go get this guy. I'm going to smash his head in, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I know what she's thinking. It's his honor. I'm not going to tell him to not go defend his honor. But I look it in her eye after, and I see the disappointment. She looked heartbroken, and she said, you're going to ruin everything. You're going to go back to prison. You're going to throw away all the things you got going on just because some fat, dopey nobody said something about you didn't like. So nobody, literally nobody. You ain't some big shot actor.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, don't waste your time on that, dude. That guy is a troll that's absolutely seeking attention. Don't give him even one
you know who it was?
of it,
That
bro.
Paul Sicilian. I'll say who it was. I don't care. I'm not afraid of the case. I was going to go catch the case, beat his ass. I was going to beat his ass and then throw my cards and say, here, have the cops come get you. I know you're telling me, you little
group,
bitch.
His circle, the walls are closing in on his world. A lot of his friends are gone. He's lost as many friends as anybody else. He's got, I mean, look, him and Gunsmoke, they're basically, they have a vision of themselves like they're, two superheroes, but obviously that's not how it is with them. They don't have, most of their old school friends that are content creators are long gone. There's,
we got to do a better job of protecting each other, because I don't know Gunner, he's got a show, but if we're all in this same group and he's willing to go over there and fly and fucking hurt someone and ruin his life, we owe it to him to say, you know what, fall back. Let's just completely not platform the guy, ignore him, ostracize him, let him fucking just die on a vine.
I respect the people of talent. Even Lee Cole, not saying anything good or bad, Lee, but
hey, Gunner, hold up.
Hear me out.
So, if you want to compare numbers,
he's
we
gonna
can.
reel this one back in.
Numbers don't mean nothing. I mean, I could compare paychecks. I mean, what I'm saying is, Lee, if you have a desire to report on mafia events and things that are happening, your duty and talent and to create content is to go get some facts, discuss it objectively, have guests on, whatever, and you do that. So well done. Same thing with Tom. And Josie, I guess I don't really know you. I've never watched your show. I don't know Brooklyn guy. I know JC did it. So I respect talent. Talent to create content requires talent. Just because you do a live video and start talking shit about people, that's not content. That doesn't require talent. There's nothing there. You're just talking shit on a phone. You're nothing. You're nothing. You got no talent, no tangible asset, no content you created, no editing, no nothing. You are nothing. So anyone can get on YouTube and talk shit about other people just to get a bunch of weird groupie mob jerk off freaking, talking about another guy. Easy. So what? You make $200, $500 in super chats? So the fuck what? That ain't nothing, man. If that's your panhandling for $500 a week, I'm good.
Hey, guys, if I missed your super chats tonight, I apologize, but we have thousands of people going through the chat room right now. And I'm going to tell you, that's one thing I want to talk about with Tom. Tom.
Well, I read it really quick, and Tony's trying to raise money to get an RV, and the RV was purchased by a couple earlier that day. So he was even lying to his audience, and he needs $6,900 for an RV, and that RV was already purchased. Like he's lying. He's lying.
Tom, I'd like to ask you a question.
Oh, wow, really?
Tom, is it possible?
You guys have no clue. You have that's the thing. Like, I'm sitting there, and I gave 4 warnings. So these people in the audience, I gave 4 warnings. So it's going to be fun. Anyway.
Tom, I got to ask you a question.
Well,
if somebody has a show and they got 220, 230 people watching, and they only got 39 people in the chat room, is that possible, that number?
Yeah, so there are services like QQTube and other ones where what you do is you can buy live, right? So I wish I pulled them up, but the particular show, I won't say who.
Exactly.
We'll do a live with like 200.
Well, I heard FBS did that the other day, and they called him. There were bots in his chat.
Yeah.
And so Russia was somewhere.
So I'll give you the markers. I'll give you the markers as you can tell, so you can reverse engineer it. So number one is the person always will do, oh, we're doing a live. The reason you do that is you can get a URL, you share it, and you send it to the bot vendor, right? So if you notice, when they come in, it goes from like 20, 30, 40, and it shoots at 180, and it stays at 180. It's not that linear. It has to be like 40, 60, 80, 100.
Yeah.
So right off the bat is when it shoots up like that, that's a red flag, number one. Number two, when they're always having to announce their lives, it's a red flag because they're creating the URL. Number three, when you're on a live.
I don't know none of this.
When you're on a live, you get participants, right? And the participants, like right now, Lee has about like 90 participants, right? So that's about, a 1-to-3 ratio. You have the 90 that are participating. You got some onlookers that are watching but don't want to be like knowing that they're watching. And then the last third may be driving or audio, right? And now, this particular one had 280 views going on. Hold on, but only 30 people in participants. That 10-to-1 ratio is a red flag. So the third is when you do multiple shows, sometimes it doesn't work in one day. And then you see the real number, which was like 80 or 90. So that person that does the lives, they're categorically full of shit, and I could prove it objectively.
Hey, check it out. In addition to what Tom just said, when you buy those bots, let's say on Fiverr.com, it's like $50 for them. What happens though is after the cycle of bots runs itself, YouTube starts to catch them and starts to delete and subtract. And you'll notice, like when FBS crossed 4,000, his numbers went back. He was like 80 up, and then it subtracted back down 100 to 200 or whatever it was.
That's never even heard of it.
That he purchased bots.
Well, naive
YouTube catches them. YouTube starts to delete them off, and and if you look at his lives have the same number that Lee Cole's do. And just 2 weeks ago on that one Sunday, myself, Callie G's, and Lee Cole had this, and I had the same number of live views as even Jimmy Calandra at the same time. And Calandra has 18,000 subs.
Well, do you know at 23-1 the
Josh.
Yeah, my boy Josh. That's the guy I aspire to be, or Michael Francis, or whatever. That size of market size, whatever they're doing it right. Josh is awesome. He's a funny dude. He's got 800,000 subscribers. When he goes live, he gets 20,000 people watching. 20,000. You know what I'm saying? And he could go live right now. It'll be 20,000 people on there in 5 minutes. That guy's got talent. He's funny. He's charismatic. He's charming. And he's talented. He's putting out good content. I'm not really. I would love to have more views. Of course, you always want to, but I'm not heartbroken about the fact that I don't get a ton of freaking views. I don't care as long as I'm selling books. I look at my book numbers end of the month. Did I sell 100 books, 500 books? What I got? That was pretty good, not bad. How much merch did I sell? I got 20 orders this month. Not bad. I mean, that's my thing. If I could, I've never heard of bots though. I don't know how that works.
You can go on to, there's a few websites you can buy. What it'll say is it's like a YouTube marketing package.
I don't want to do it anyway, so
I know, but what it
No,
is,
you don't want to do it.
The people order it. It'll say we'll guarantee that you'll get your 1,000 subs and your 4,000 hours.
I've seen those ads.
Gunsmoke, by the way, was not monetized up until I think the other day. He had 1,000
Yeah,
subs
but
like 2 months ago.
Wait, hold up. We can't say names,
Right.
and we don't know it, so
Right.
we shouldn't say
Well,
names.
I know he said he got
we shouldn't
monetized
just
2
know.
days
Let's
ago.
not. We don't
But
know.
still, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I seen Gunsmoke work hard to get to 1,000. I'll be totally honest.
What'd you think of the
his
picture
are
of me?
legit.
I didn't like that
Hold on.
picture he
What
put
my
up of
point
me.
is, his are
Axis
legit.
of Evil, bad
His
picture.
are legit. Gunsmoke's are.
He put up some bad ones of me. He put up Gunsmoke did a video of me getting raped in the woods. I mean, and no one ever said, "Why are you making fun of rape?" Think about that.
Well, the Me Too crowd hasn't seen that video yet.
Yeah,
But look,
it's like
I'm
certain
saying his
subjects.
subs are legit, and you can tell because it took him a long time to get the 4,000 view hours that you also have to get once you get to 1,000 subs. That shows that one reason why he's doing so many lives now, and I'm not caping for him. He dissed Code of the Streets the other day, and a whole nother group of guys with that. But his are, he didn't do his 1,000 in 2 weeks the way FBS claimed to have.
So Lee, Tony Doc's my number, and it's live now.
I'm getting calls, private calls right now.
Yeah.
I'm getting so I figured that. See,
No,
that's what a scumbag Tony is. So
know
here's
he
what I'm
is.
gonna do. As soon as this show's over, I'm gonna ask everybody here to go to Tony's video and flag it, please. There's 7 of us here. If we're
I
gonna
got a
talk
question
about,
for you.
that's what we need to do. We need to flag his video, show the
Yeah.
spot where he docks us, and that's what we should do. I'll
Tom,
change my number tonight.
I've got about 600,000 views right now.
Yeah.
7,500 subs. I get about 40,000. I was it 40,000 views a month because I have so many videos. I got 300 some videos, and even though my last video might only get 800 views in a couple days, but there's so many videos that are getting viewed all the time. Adds up. I think in every 48 hours I get like 40,000 views. So it's pretty good. Will that at some point, like an algorithm kick in when I get to, and will it become more?
Yeah. So what you got to do is you got to do 2 things. One is when you create new content, you want to make it evergreen, right? You don't have like Mob 2 War on there. You might talk about why the Detroit mob was stronger than New York, right? So that'll get views for like 5 views a day for the next 100 years, right? But to keep your channel going, you always got to create new content on a regular basis.
I do 1 show a day. So,
yeah, so what you want to do is you want to make sure within the first 4 hours that gets watched.
What do you mean the first 4 hours? First 4 hours of what?
The first 4 hours is going to determine how well your video does for the life of the video.
Okay. So
what happens is YouTube will work on your behalf and send it out there on the algorithm if it goes well. So, for example, you have a 12-minute if Josie releases a 12-minute video and it gets watched by
Because I just announced this.
for 10 minutes, then all of a sudden it'll say shit, and they'll start sharing.
Guys, I'd like to say something. Think about, this is what you got to think about. A grown man came on here and got upset that he was being talked about. So what he did is he went and gave his numbers out, our phone numbers out live on his show as the other show's going on. That's mentally.
Well, you know what? That not only there's 1 or 2 things with him that really makes me believe that he didn't do a whole lot back then. One is his propensity to just going out spouting stuff like that, and the other is he says so much stuff out loud that's not supposed to be said, even against his own self-interest at times. And none of these wise guys would have, at least the guys would have been around, or probably Gunner too. They would not have been around any guy that blabs and spouts
not in Detroit.
words. It's almost like he has Tourette's.
They would have freaking. There's no way. No way.
Hey, I want to talk to Vinny for a minute. Vinny, how do you feel tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good. I've been trying to rest. I stayed off my show, but you were very nice to invite me. I appreciate it. So I wanted to just say Happy New Year to everybody. I didn't know Gunner would be on and Josie. I knew the other guys would. So Happy New Year, Gunner. It's nice to meet you. And Josie, good to see you.
Happy
And
New Year.
JC, Happy New Year.
Yeah, I'm sorry to
Happy
hear. I
New
didn't
Year, buddy.
realize you were ill, Vinny.
I'm getting there.
Sorry to hear that.
It was a very sudden thing. I went for a regular test because my mom had passed of colon cancer. So I was due because I never wanted to get it. And the colon was fine, but I still wasn't feeling well. So when I went for a sonogram and then they took another blood test, they found out. And they said I'm going to be fine. But
what is it?
Prostate.
Oh, my dad just went through the
Oh,
whole
you'll be
thing.
fine.
It's 4 weeks.
Is it? They called it early? What
yeah,
stage?
it's not staged.
You'll be
not
fine.
Staged. But 4 weeks,
you'll
4
be
times a
fine.
week. 10 minutes a day.
Yeah, you'll be
but
fine.
Thank you, but I'm very tired.
Yeah, it's a
That's what my
little
dad
rough.
said. My dad said the same
It's
thing.
very-
Well, you go
it's
through the
very-
chemo?
No chemo.
It's
no.
very
Okay.
rough. No chemo. It's very rough in the beginning. It's going to take it out of you, but as it, are they giving you radiation?
Yes, and I'm on. I'm diabetic, so they give me a vitamin bag before it, and it
That's
raised
what
my
I meant
sugar.
by chemo. by the way.
Right.
Yeah, my sugar was like
Are you
500.
nearly done with the radiation?
No, I got 2 weeks left.
Are you?
10,
okay.
10, I have
Once
10
that's
sessions.
over with,
I lost.
Right.
Okay.
Once that is over with, you're going to start feeling a whole lot better. I promise.
Yeah, well,
You know,
I've gotten
and then,
used to it a bit now, but you know what? The
yeah,
sugar I think is knocking me out because it's a tax. It's a
yeah,
tax to the body, so it raises my sugar, and I think
yeah,
the sugar makes me feel more crappier than the actual treatment,
Huh.
actually. But thank you for your
yeah.
wishes,
There
and
is
everyone
that.
in the chat. Thank you so much for all your. I really appreciate it. I really do. I didn't want to interrupt people, but thank you so much.
Well, that's
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
you're very well liked, Joe. You always
Thank you,
have
Lee.
been,
I
yeah,
appreciate
you
it.
know.
And
And
I think
yeah.
it's great what
Vinny.
you're doing. I think it's great what you're doing. You know what? It's just so childish. You know,
well,
high school.
we just got doxxed by a maniac. You
Uh,
know, that's basically it. He basically and my phone's blowing up now with private numbers from weirdos. See,
really?
this is who
Oh,
Tony
okay.
is. This exactly shows who Tony is. I will make it my life mission when this show is over to destroy him.
Yeah, hold on real quick. Just for the record, I just got a text death threat. Okay, you can't make this show.
Oh,
Oh
you
God.
did?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
gotta
good.
Welcome
do
to
something
my
real quick. This is
world.
important. I gotta do something real quick. Yeah.
Welcome to my world.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
So
Tom,
you-
that you're going through that, bro.
No, it's all
So
right.
let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Tony just came on. He doxed people, and you just got a death threat. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Well, they obviously do it from so when you respond, it's green, so you know which one of those apps, right? So just basically, it's like we're gonna kill you, blah blah blah, and they mention me and my family, so it's like you just keep at it, that's what's funny, right? Like so now we talk about him, he goes on a live, he whistle blows, and then we have a verified death threat and doxing. So he just keeps digging the hole, and it was great. And the funny thing is, the guys that are wrenches, this is why he's even smarter. He puts people that make some money, wrenches. Now we know who gives them money. So if there's a coincidence of you doxing and getting a death threat, and Perpetual Motion gives money,
I don't know how to
Perpetual
type.
Motion may be on the hook.
He's a fucking agent. He's an agent. I'm telling you, man. Something's not adding up.
Don't worry, stay tuned.
Well,
Tom-
you know something. Anything I could do to help you, I would gladly do.
Lee,
And when this
Can
is
I-
Don't
over,
worry about it. I got it. I told you I accept leadership on this.
I
I don't,
appreciate
if I
it.
need help, trust me. But you know what? I'm going to say right now, my top 3 priorities for 2022, and I will spare no expense. That he ends up in jail. I want it clear, and not just that. I'm going civil, and his real name will never be able to own anything until he pays a lien until I get against him. It's done. I tried, guys. I tried.
Yeah.
I know his real name.
Yeah, Tom's
You
at
know-
that point where he's
Can you imagine
even
that?
gonna
He
take
just
a picture
doxed
of
me. I still
Tony's
won't give the
casket
fucker's
one
name
day.
yeah, see, Lee, that's the best way to handle it. It's like almost a joke now because, like, what are you gonna do? Go
Well,
fucking
I can
crazy?
say this. I can say this on Lee's show. He admitted to threatening me. He's like, I only threatened to beat him up. Oh, that's okay. He admitted to throwing a brick through Joe Candella's place.
Wow.
And then he admitted that he was in association with an organized crime member. So I'm going to tell you,
Yeah.
I know this said this analogy before, but I'll say it again. So I go for ice cream with Joey Bay8, right? Joey Bay8 is a wise guy. And Josie has an ice cream shop, and Josie owes me $500. If I get out of my car and say, Josie, do you have my $500? No. You know who's in that car? Joey Bay8 is in that car. You better give me my money. Now, Joey Bay8 has no clue. He's just thinking he's getting money, but he's a made guy or an associate. Me and him, 20 years RICO. 20 years.
Yeah. You might.
And that's what Tony's been doing. Tony tried to corral Sammy's name documented, and there's more media reports come out documented. Why do you think Sammy backed away? Sammy backed
You see that,
away
Josie?
because he was smart. He knew you didn't know him. He knew he wasn't.
Well, you know, that and
because
him
I have nothing to
saying
do with
that,
this.
that
This
his
is legal
daughter
ramifications.
is a you know what, and his granddaughter is a you know what,
But
aside from
not
all
just
of
that. What I'm
Tom,
saying is, you don't need to be OC connected. You try to use OC's names in commission of a crime. That try to
no,
leverage.
I
that name.
understand that. I'm you're saying that Sammy backed away, and I'm adding that, yeah, aside from all the reasons you just said, also the fact that he loves the guy disses everybody's fake it to make it, everybody's woke. You can be as far right wing as Lee and all of a sudden he doesn't like Lee. Lee's
Gee,
now woke.
thanks.
Lee's woke. Lee's a fake it to make it. Oh, everybody's fundraisers are scams all of a sudden. But if he's friends with them, it's a great cause. Gee, where do we hear that? We hear that with almost all these guys, except he takes it to the nth degree. You know, instead of
Okay, so I have a question. Can I just ask a quick question? Because I've got to run. I've got like a dinner and a dance to go to.
I was gonna say,
You look
you
very
were
nice
in the
tonight.
1920s tonight. Nice.
Yeah, Shwennies. Yeah, Flapper Girl. But I wanted to ask Tom and Joe and Penny, where did FBS get that from? That the toy drive was a scam? Why did he say that?
Because I reached out to Tony.
Tony does that about anybody he doesn't like.
I believe. I don't know for sure, but it happened after I had reached out to Tony because I wasn't feeling well. I wanted to end things, and I believe he found that out.
Or FPS too.
That's what it was.
Okay.
Oh, can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
It's off the subject. I want to give a shout out to my homeboy Ryan Lucido, who's going through some shit right now. Homie, keep your head up, man. I'm riding with you, bro.
Ryan's a good dude.
Love you, bro.
I know a bunch of Lucidos from Detroit. They were players.
Ryan's
Jack
a good dude.
Yeah, he's a good kid, and he's got some family shit that's going
Is he
on.
from
I just
Detroit?
said I would shout him out. Nah, he's from New York.
Ryan, I hope everything's okay.
Yep.
God bless him.
Yep.
You guys, I gotta run.
All right, thank you, guys. Well,
nice meeting you, Josie.
Nice meeting you.
Happy New Year.
Josie,
Vinny, I hope you feel better. You
Thank
will.
you, Josie.
take a
Thank
lot
you.
of
I
pictures,
hope you feel
Josie.
Good job with the mob tube thing. I'm glad
Happy
that
New
you're
Year.
such a visionary that you came up with it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I had people say, "What are you going to write about? 3 guys arguing?" No,
You're right.
the treachery, the
Yeah.
betrayal.
We gotta do a better job. We gotta do a better job of
The
protecting
whole thing
people.
is hilarious.
I want to
That's
say
like
something.
trying to climb
I want to
up
say
the
something really
YouTube
quick.
ladder.
Hold on, guys.
Okay.
Before Josie-
Hey,
hold on,
guys.
before Josie goes. Hold on, real quick, Lee, because I know Josie's got to go soon. Really quick, guys. I apologize for the interruption. So, in terms of the charities, there was 3 charities. One was St. Jude. Tony was taking the lead for that. I was dealing with what is called Be the Change. It's a local New Jersey charity, and Grace. Be the Change and Toys for Tots. They were asking for toys. I'm come up now. For
Look at this,
toys,
guys.
and we documented everything, and everything was above board. So that's why they, it was spiteful.
No, look, when that guy spouts out, Tom, it's meaningless. Remember that when it comes to that kind of stuff.
I just didn't believe it, and I just thought it's crazy. But anyway, have a happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New
See you
Year.
next year.
Happy New Year, Josie.
Listen, I got to run in a minute too.
Okay.
But Lee, I just want you to you always have good questions, and you always had a poignant kind of thing. So before I go, is there anything you'd like to ask me regarding him or anything else? I did want to ask Tom a quick question. I don't know if he's going to be back or not because he has a lot of knowledge on the whole.
Well, I'm being hit with a bunch of private calls now.
Yeah, I'm
and
sorry.
I'm sure Tom is. This is what that dirtbag did by just doxing us.
Listen, the sad part is listen, man. I don't know this dude.
I didn't know Tony.
I don't know nothing about the guy. I just know he's a homeless guy. He lives in his car.
Exactly.
That's all I ever need to know about anybody. If they're a homeless guy who lives in their car, I don't want to know him. I don't want to know nothing about him. I'm never going to want nothing about him. I'm not going to be interacting with him. I'm not going to be a fan of his. Not going to listen to his show. Nothing. It's the same thing with Fatball Sicilian. Like if he had something poignant to say, something interesting, a topic that is something whatever, but he doesn't. You know what he reminds me of? He's like this little fanboy who with his Gotti poster and he likes talking about stuff. And that's fine if that's what you like, dude. The thing is, shut the F up. Keep people's names out of your mouth. Stop starting shit with people. Stop talking trash about people you don't know nothing about. Nothing. I certainly don't know anything about me, my life, my past, my history, my family. Like I said, I think he's a narcissist. You don't.
Well, Gunner, exactly, and that's what these haters do. In fact, I think he took the video down where he dissed you. Look, he did the same thing with me with. You don't know anybody affiliated with Rick Ross. Well, the guy that I was affiliated with, who was with him, just got out today, and I, met up and salute CEO Rod, by the way. And then, but when I showed the guy's picture 30 days ago, he was like, "You doctored that picture because it was from 2015 when we last saw each other." Well, now the dude's on video, and but I'm not doing this to prove to him that I know somebody. This is for the fans who wanted to know about my life, and now I'm disclosing more. You're in the same position. People are learning about you. You have a good following already. More and more people will pick up on you this year. And with you, you don't have to demonstrate to Fat Bald Scallop anything, Fat Bald Scallion anything. You do it for you, your fans, your subscribers, your friends, the people that matter. Don't worry about it, all right?
Yeah, so Tony's currently on McCall Road. Tony, you're being tracked, Tony. Are you that stupid, Tony?
He is that stupid.
By giving out your numbers tonight, Tony.
Well, that's the thing, you guys.
I never really went after Tony really hard, but I can guarantee you, as soon as this show's over, I'm going to go after him real hard.
Let me leave you guys with some advice before I take off because I'm hungry. I was hunting all afternoon.
Yes.
But I want, if you're all, this is what I told Joey the other day, and that same goes for JC and Vinny and whoever this gentleman is. I can't really see him. But listen, if you're going to try and be a YouTube channel and content creator, my suggestion is keep it clean, create good content, maybe record shows, go back, edit them, add some sound, some videos, some pictures, whatever, and just release your content. Let the fans decide if they like it or not. Don't get involved in this bullshit with nobodies, because we are talking about literal nobodies here. One of my best friends is Scott Bernstein. He's working with 50 Cent right now, Eminem, Joe Pesci, Sylvester Stallone. I could go on and on and on. This is my boy. I got friends that are like my friend Louis Lombardi, who's on The Sopranos, and my friend Paul Borghesi's a big actor.
Yeah.
These are
ironic
that I look up
right
to.
Now is your friend
Gunner.
Larry Mazza. Larry Mazza
Gunner.
is winning
Gunner.
because he stayed in the background and just chills with you.
Gunner, can you read this?
Let's not forget FBS was dry snitching on Gunner, saying felons can't hunt with guns.
Oh, he did say that. Yeah, he's trying to insinuate.
Well,
that
that's
you use
another
guns out there.
example of how dumb he is. Okay, I hunt with a bow, you fat moron.
Yeah.
I don't
Said that alone.
All right.
FBS doesn't know anything about hunting. He's a leftist. He thinks
he don't know anything about my life, and that's why
I got an AR-15 out there.
JC, listen, this freaking guy, he talks trash about my life. I think he thinks I'm in need of money. I don't know what he thinks. I'm like, he's too stupid to go and look at my community board or my Facebook or my post, my previous post, my personal post, and see how I live. That I got 3 snowmobiles, a 4-wheeler, a dirt bike, a new Jeep. I got a beautiful house and 20 acres, and I hunt every day and I play. I'm not bragging, but that's my life. You're gonna make me out.
Well, bro, he didn't even go on to IG and do a quick Gunnar Lindblom search before doing that stupid show the other day. If he would have just punched your name in on Instagram, it would have shown that your account was hacked and you have a new one you use now. He didn't even make that effort. That shows how lazy. He's intellectually lazy, Gunner, and you're not that kind of guy, so it's hard to relate to FBS at that point.
This is what I'm getting at. Is for all of you guys, it's good advice. Don't lower yourself to that standard. The guy's nothing. He's never going to be amount to nothing.
But wait a minute, Gunner. He just put our phone numbers out there. What would you do if someone put your wife's phone number out there, or your phone number out there?
I would handle it how I handle it. I'm not saying you shouldn't, Lee, but what led up to this is what I'm saying is you shouldn't just ignore the guy, not engage the guy. Now you got to handle it. You got to handle it, but it is what it is. And I'm sorry that he did that, Lee, and I'm sorry that's happening. But I feel like I'm not even going to – I look at somebody and I base my opinion on their character, how they act, their talent, what they do. Like all my friends, I just named a bunch of my friends. Larry Mazza is another one. He's got a freaking TV show coming out, a talk show coming out. He's another one of my best friends. These are guys going places. So I admire them. I surround myself with these guys who have talent and that are going places. And my suggestion to all of us is that we do the same. Don't engage losers. Don't go around them. Don't engage the people who engage the losers. There's a little group, subset, 400, 500, 600, 800 got people who jerk off the Fat Bull Cecilia. They just love the guy. And those aren't your market. Get rid of them. And the same thing. Yeah. Forget them.
Most of them are recovering addicts or current addicts.
Yeah, they live with their mommy. They ain't got no freaking money.
They're not buying your books or any other merch. And they're just going to be on each other's page. They went from smack addiction to online addiction,
Yeah,
to
YouTube
YouTube
addiction.
addiction with each other.
My book, by the way, I'll tell you before I leave, I want to tell you one more thing what some scumbags did. Now, that one guy left a review on my book, and it said, this book is, you can't prove who his family is, and this book is his life. And it's some really dumb, moronic thing. I'm like, first of all, it's a fiction novel, you idiot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not the
with,
autobiography.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with my life, you freaking moron. But he gave it a 1-star review. That 1-star review knocked my perfect 5 stars that had been perfect for 5 years down to 4.9. Because you know what happened? Within the next 3 days, I got 3 more 5-star reviews, bumped it back up. So, but just having that irritates me. Like, you're such a scumbag douchebag. Like, you don't know nothing about me. You're too stupid and lazy to research anything about. Listen, Google up Grace Carmela Tocco and Lindblom. My mother's obituary will pop up, and you'll see my name. Grace Carmela. My grandfather, Peter Paul Tocco, and my name, Lindblom. Boom, pops up my. So you can make the connection. There's my family. That's who I am. That's it. Now, who was his cousin? The boss. Make the connection. I spent.
Hey, Gunner, you don't even have to worry. Look, Scott Bernstein vouches for you. He vouches for me because he knows what I've told him privately is 100, and he knows what you've told him as well. And so it doesn't matter. We have the guys that make history and write the books of that our future generations are going to be looking at this from. And nobody's going to know who Fat Bald Scallop is in 5 years.
You see this book right there? It's called Motor City Mafia. A guy gave it to me in prison. It's about my family. He went and got it off the yard and said, here, right? I took it home with me because it's got my whole family in it. And I hooked up with Scott Bernstein. And you see who signed it? You see who signed it right there? It's signed by Scott Bernstein. Scott Bernstein signed the book. Now, here's a dude who knows my whole family, my whole life, been researching the Detroit mob for 22 years, thousands of hours of wiretaps, informants, FBI agents, yada, yada, yada. You know what Scott says to me? You know what he says to me when I say, some of these gumps, like this fat bald gump, and he's like, who? I'm like, you'll never know who he is. He's a freaking talentless loser. But he's like, and I said, they questioned my validity. You know what he says? Scott Bernstein says this. This is exactly what he says. He says, Gunner, you are 10,000% a bigger gangster than most of these freaking the rat ones that aren't used. He said, and he's like, if they got a question about your validity, have them call me. Give them my number. He's like, you have nothing to prove, man. He said, this is what he says. Tell them to Google your birth certificate. It's out there.
Well, hey, Gunner, look, again, most of these guys are like FBS. They're used to the noisy mob, the guys that were in the more noisy
open.
New York
they ratted, so they got immunity. So
and look. Remember, they thought that you and me were full of it way back when they were like, well, how come Gunner was working the doors at casino nights? That means he's a nobody. Hold on. Maybe in New York, maybe the doorman isn't anybody, but in Detroit, only the guys that were trusted are going to be watching over these casino nights that make 50 G's a night or more. Not to mention, I was a kid.
I was 19, 20 years old when I was doing that.
So, yeah, exactly.
Okay, guys, I want to bring on
Gunner. Johnny Mac. What's up, Johnny Mac?
What's going on? Happy New Year, everybody.
Gunner, you taking off?
Happy New Year.
Yeah, if you guys have anything else you wanted to ask, like I said, go ahead. But I'll leave you with this again. Please,
Happy New Year.
You guys stay to the high quality content. Lee, handle that how you got to handle it. You're dealing with the freaking, look what you're dealing with, man. These people we're talking about are literally like vermin. They're on the bottom. Stuff you scrape off your shoe. They're not really worth wasting your time. Create content. Engage people respectfully, and just build your platform and your content. Engaging people who are never going to be anything. They're just literally talentless losers who are nothing. That's the shame on all of us for even engaging them. So I leave you with that. Lee, build your platform, do what you do. Joey, I wish you the best in your platform.
Gunner, it was great to have you on.
Thank you, Gunner. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Gunner. Have a good one, man.
Okay, guys. So I've been there 300 for over 2 hours. See, this is what I try to explain to people.
Because of me, Lee. Tell the truth.
Yeah. I was going to say, without that Joey.
Wait, 1 second. In my last 10 shows, I'm always at those numbers. Because you know why? Because I only do 1 or 2 lives a week. See, when you do a bunch of lives, your numbers never go up. People get bored. In the beginning, that's what the mistake I made. I was doing lives all the time. So when people start talking about numbers, if you do 2 lives a day, you're going to get high numbers because you're on for 4 or 5 hours. Try to do it by dropping videos and doing 1 live, 2 lives a week. That's what separates people. And you know who told me that? Hootie Russo. And he was right. So I just like to say that.
Hootie has been unironically a winner of this too, because he has not been engaging in any arguments with anybody the last 4 months.
Yeah, but if he realizes he can get into these arguments and it increased, views, maybe you fall into that. You know what I mean? It's
Okay,
a trap.
Joe, channel is still growing, though.
I'm going to tell you. Okay, I brought Joe on for one reason, and Joe is Johnny Mac, and he was Tony's henchman. So I want to be Joe. I want you to be honest about one thing. First of all, the thing that I will hear more than anything is people have a hard time forgiving you is because Tony did a lot of things while you were with him.
I can't defend against that. That's something that I'm going to have to just deal with and take accountability for. I stuck with this asshole for a long time. The shit that he says is horrendous. I know I've spoken out publicly that I don't agree with a lot of his views, but just by going along with some of the stuff, he's taking it too far. Like he doxed me 2 mornings ago. I woke up to my phone going off, and that was out of the blue. He doesn't need a reason to take it to the gutter. That's just how he is, and he's on right now.
Messing with your wife and other stuff too, like an idiot. Like how he is. That's his playbook. Same thing he said about Tom's wife. Same thing he says about Shanna. It doesn't matter. That's his playbook.
I'd love to know who the cocksuckers are that are supplying him money.
How stupid they are.
No doubt. I have never given him 1 red cent.
No, I would never give him 1 cent. Oh, hell with that.
Well, I know a lot of those people have rolled over. I mean, that the wrenches have rolled over several times. I saw that personally. How I lasted as long as I did, I have no idea. Because I was of value to him. That's what it was. When I was not wanting to go along with some of the things he was wanting to do, that's when he saw that the end was coming, and he stuck it to me with the recordings. Like that's one thing.
When you publicly said that you had no problem with me on your live that night, remember? From that point on, that's when I saw the problem starting to, and I hope I'm not responsible for that, but
no.
You know what I mean? I made a comment saying that I thought you were a good guy and you did the right thing, because I think you are a good guy, and what you did was a stand-up move.
Well, see, that's the thing. I thought that, Tony, I started the channel to go after FBS because he's a garbage pail. So during this process, I brokered a truce with Tom. I was able to get Tony and Vinny and you guys to stop going at each other. So I'm getting allies for this guy. And he just yanks the rug out from underneath me. Every time I gain a little ground, a little leverage, he would just sabotage it. So what am I doing here? I'm just
dude,
the way drama.
He answers his phone on lives from people that are gonna talk to him privately, and yet he'll answer it, and they're
and not tell him.
Right, he did that to you once or twice, where you're like, "Hold on, are we live? Or are we? Yeah, we're."
He did it to
right
Sammy
now.
the Bull. That's how he got the Sammy video. He had to sneak it. He has no problems throwing people under the bus, making recordings, doxing people. There's no line.
And guys, just so you know, I checked this. This is really Tony. This is what Tony wrote. He's a mentally ill man.
He's live right now. He only has 80 watchers, while you have almost 300.
Yeah, well, he came in here. He wanted to affect this show. He doesn't realize if Jimmy Calandra didn't do it, he sure the hell ain't going to do it.
Well, he ran from Jimmy. I want to point that out too. He boogied on down south because he was scared to death of Jimmy Calandra. Don't let anybody fool you. I know he said he was going down there because it was cold. He was scared of Jimmy. Let's just put that out there too.
And let me show you another thing. This is how far behind I am on these messages. Right here, it says you've been on 73 minutes. I've been on 2 hours and 18 minutes. So last time I did my live, I had 20,000 messages. 20,000 people wrote in here. So it's probably going to be near the same number tonight. So if I don't answer you, it's almost impossible. It's just one of those things tonight. When you have this many people writing in, I mean, it's incredible. But I want to thank you because that means you guys are really enthused. You're here. But once again, people, during this show, we were talking about Tony Pizza, and Tony Pizza went back and started the live show and doxed a bunch of phone numbers. And he did it because he was mad. Like
I told
little
you,
child.
I told you the second that you weren't going to let him on, he was going to take it out on you. And
Yep.
he did it a little quicker than I thought he would. I thought he would at least wait till the show was over, but he didn't. He did it to you while you were live, which is,
the greatest day would be when the cops pull his ass out of the car.
Oh, and it's coming. It's coming because you can't keep doing this shit forever.
Johnny Mac, have you ever met him in person?
I've never met the guy in person, and look how much I did for this guy.
Yeah, because I want to know. He calls me a midget, so I want to know how big he is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I could tell.
I don't know.
He's probably
my height
like
if he stood on a fucking. Forget it.
He's not that tall. Well, you're about 6 feet, right, Joe?
About 6'1", 6 foot in between. Yeah.
Right. And Vinny, how tall are you?
5'8".
5'8". How about you, JC?
I'm 6'1", 6 foot as well,
Wow.
about the same height as Joe.
And Joe?
I'm 5'6", like Sammy the Bull. I'm a little guy.
Oh, okay.
I'm 205.
Oh, I wish I was
175. I'm
Yeah, and
175.
I'm 200 as well. And bro,
I'm 180.
FBS
I'm 180
is
pounds.
close to being in that kind of shape. If Joe was to take on FBS or I was, let's keep it real. FBS's last video, he is sticking out more and more. He's getting lazier the longer he's on YouTube all day at home.
I told Vinny, I said, if this happens, if it goes down, you better come, because when he sees me and has a heart attack, I ain't giving the cocksucker mouth to mouth. You're fucking doing that,
Yeah.
not me.
Well, we can all everybody just wish Vinny the best. He's a good man.
Yeah.
He really deserves it.
And the thing about Vinny is I know him better than anyone, and believe me, when I say a good guy, trust me, he's a good guy. And scheming little kids, fuck no. You know how much money it's costing him to donate to fucking St. Jude's and do that for kids, wasting time, putting all his energy, and then taking abuse from people?
And that's what I couldn't do. I
Really?
couldn't speak out against Vinny. I knew Vinny was legitimate. I knew he was an honest guy, and I grew to like him and you. And then that's something I couldn't do, is just throw you guys under the bus because Tony wanted me to, because he was doing the same thing Chris was doing to you, shaming you for being, saying I'm a good guy. And Tony was doing the same thing. And, I'm just not going to allow that.
Yeah, hey, Johnny, about 3 months ago, he blocked me. You're blocked, Mob Entertainment Group, right? And I'm like, I hopped on I have a test profile I used to do copyrighted stuff to see if YouTube will catch it or not before I put it on my main one. So I hop on that profile into his chat and I told him, F off, Tony. I could care less about you or your stupid pizza jail, right? And then he was like, well, F you too. And then later on in the thing, he's all, I kind of respected that JC just told me to F off. He's all, I sort of respect that. I'm not letting him out of pizza jail, but I respect that. And I've been in pizza jail ever since. And I guess he and I are at a stalemate then, really. I don't hate him or nothing because I haven't really interacted with him. Was there a part of you, Johnny, that you knew you wanted to get away from him, but you were scared because you're like, dude, he's going to overreact. He's going to come back at me. I'm going to get doxxed. Was there a part of you that was like, man, maybe I won't, even though you wanted to?
Yes, there was actually. And it was the day that Tony called Lee on three-way with me on the other line. And when I saw the games he was playing with the three-way and shit like that, I knew that, and seeing him bring people on lives without telling them, I knew eventually I would be in that seat. I knew it. And I told Lee that, and I made the wrong choice. I chose to be loyal to Tony and fuck Lee over. And I apologize again for that, Lee.
It's done with.
Hey,
guys, guys, I like to say one thing. It's New Year's. We're going into a new year, and I'm going to be
exactly.
I'm going to be. Each one of you guys say what you want for the New Year's, and then I'm going to take you out. Let's start with you, Joe. What do you want to tell the people?
Joe. There's another Joe.
No, Joe Capone.
Oh,
Capone.
that's
What do you
you,
want?
Johnny
Oh,
man.
Campione. Okay, yeah.
Campione.
I just want to say for the new year.
Lee pronounced it the leeway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I like Capone though. That's good.
Give him some leeway.
For the
No
new
pun
year,
intended.
guys. Why don't
Okay.
we just focus on our families and trying to make it somewhere in the world, put a little coin in our pocket. Let's just be nice to one another, show some love to some people, man. And let's leave all this drama behind, because life's too short for all this nonsense. That's how I feel about it. I got a new grandson. Tom's got a baby on the way. Everybody has stuff going on in their life that that's more important than this drama. So, and as far as getting away from Tony, if people would just judge me by my actions from here on out and just give me a chance. I know I look like a piece of shit from being with Tony, but just give me a chance and just see my actions rather than what
I made the same mistake. Well, listen, I want you to have a nice night. I'm going to sign you off now.
Okay. Happy New
Take
Year's.
care, my man.
And
Bye.
Joe, we got your back, Joe. You know what I mean? I know there's
Thank you.
people that are going to talk shit, but we're going to hold you down. You know what I mean? I'm going to get in touch with you, bro.
West Coast Connection, JC, what would you like to say before we're done?
Well, I'll say that it's been a tumultuous year on YouTube, but you know what? I'm better off for it. Lee, you're better off for it. The battles were necessary in some ways. Now we're going to be way better in 2022. I personally am not going to be giving trolls or other haters or other content creators that are negative my time, my effort, or my attention, because that's what they crave. And if they're not getting it, good or bad, positive or negative feedback, they're getting what they don't want. And then shout out, of course, CEO Rod. Thank you. I'm proud that you've made it through, and hopefully you're out of the federal system once and for all. The guy didn't snitch. He's going to be coming on the show. Good guy. Thinks a lot like us. He's done a lot of charity work, and he's also worked in the music business near Ori as well. So shout out to everybody who's made it out this year. We're going to. And
I like to say one thing before you leave. JC's been very loyal to me for a long time. Never had no issues with JC. He always comes on when I ask him to come on, and I like to thank you very much for being part of this show for this year. I really mean
thank
that.
you, Lee.
Thank you,
And I appreciate if we all work together, which it looks like we will. We're 2 people away from having our Mafia Squares game ready to go. But once we have our full boat,
we had about 12.
We all help each other out.
We had about 12 people trying to get in. That I didn't let several people in, just so you know that. So if I miss you guys on the part, you take care, my man.
Thank you. God bless. Thanks, Joe. Have a
good one, man. Same to you. I'll be in contact with you, but I got to get your info.
Joe, I left you on because you were the first one in today.
Thank
you. That
you.
means that you lasted 2 hours and a half. So what do you think about the numbers? We were pulling close to 300 for well over 2 hours.
Couldn't happen to better people. First, I want to say that if we had any beef or anything like that, I want to apologize. If I said anything about you that negative, because I know you did the video the other night. I think I was just reading someone's comment. And I was being sarcastic.
I don't even think that was negative. It basically said that I was glad to see you finally stand up because you've been getting
right. Okay. Yeah, I know. No, I know.
And you know what it is when people apologize, but then they say, but this, but that, but this. It's not really an apology.
It's not genuine, exactly.
And that's what happened with Vinny.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I knew if Vinny, I didn't realize how sick Vinny was and stuff. I would have just left him out of it, to be honest with you. And but the fact of the matter is, people have to notice these things. I mean, we can't just be doing this and getting away with it.
Yeah. One other thing I want to say is there's some people in the chat that they send me messages that, they hate me or they can't stand me, and I need to do this and do that. Well, here's what I'm thinking for 2022. If you are someone that didn't like me and wants to make comments, right? But now we're at a point where maybe you figure the relationship's done and you can't approach me. Now, if you in 2022, any of those people that hated my guts, if you want to make peace with me, I'm going to extend the olive branch to you and forget about anything that happened in 2021. I'm talking about people in the chat, not content creators, people in the chat. If you want to own up and say, hey, I made a mistake, or you know what, I said some things, you don't even have to apologize. But I won't have a problem with you, and I won't hold anything against you. And maybe we could start fresh in 2022.
Okay, well, I want you to have a nice one. Thank you so much for showing up, and Happy New Year's, my man.
Yeah, same to you, Lee. And you know what? I got your number now. I got all the information. So thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. And you're a Yankee fan, so you can't be too bad of a guy.
No, I'm an avid Yankee fan, my man.
All right, man. You have a good one. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, people. It's been a very interesting night. We had great numbers, and that's because of you guys. So many people in the chat room. It's incredible. I just can't even keep up. I mean, we got thousands and thousands of messages in the chat room. I mean, that's incredible. That means people are really engaged and they're talking to each other. And well, I like to wish everybody a happy new year, and we're entering a new year. And when you get to my age, you worry more about tomorrow than you when you're younger. But this has been an unusual year. My brother died in February 12th of this year. And it's been a tough year, but what happened was I found YouTube, and it kind of helped me. It helped me a lot. And I just like to thank you all. Let's see what happens. And hopefully people don't get attacked viciously for this show. But you know how that goes, people. Well, bless you all. Have a beautiful year next year. Take care.